in their claret and blue. The referee tonight is Thomas Bramhall, and it will be Aston Villa to get the game started. Chelsea have won each of the last 7 FA Cup ties that have required a replay at an away ground following a draw at Stamford Bridge. It's a trend that they will hope to continue this evening, amid deafening noise at Villa Park. You can tell the stadium, Dion, Dublin's really up for this one as we get underway.
Yeah, they are, and I think they've been up for it all season here at Villa Park. Lots of noise, lots of support for their team, and the team are doing everything they possibly can to play some good football on the pitch and keep the noise going.
Aston Villa, who did lose their last home game here, that was against Newcastle. First time that they've been beaten at home this season. And Unai Emery will very much want his team to click back into a winning groove this evening. This is Douglas Luiz, centre of the midfield, gives it up to John McGinn, who's immediately closed down by Madueke, and then difficult height of a pass towards Palmer, who can't control it. He just heads it back into Aston Villa possession, and Moreno pops one over the top. McGinn gets the head down as he bulldozes his way to put pressure on Caicedo. Brilliant from McGinn, hangs in the cross, header from Bailey is blocked by Badiashile, and Chelsea get it away, but Aston Villa immediately looking threatening on their first attack.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference in that one challenge, is the difference between Villa and Chelsea.
Bright start to the game as Chelsea come in the attack down the other end. Nico Jackson in her on the back of Matty Cash, steps into the penalty area, can't quite get it onto his right boot. Kamara's back there and makes the tackle, and Jackson commits a foul free kick to Villa. Yeah,
I was going to say that ball down the left hand side, I think McGinn was sort of 60-40 against to get there first, but his determination, head down, Caicedo gets there at the same time. McGinn just uses his right shoulder, nudges him off it. You've got to expect that as a Chelsea player. You're defending. McGinn, brilliant strength, great desire.
This is a young Chelsea team, it's a young Chelsea squad, but significantly, when you take Thiago Silva out, the average age, which is already the youngest of the Premier League, but it plummets. He on his own, he's been sort of dragging up the average for Mauricio Pochettino this season. But you look around the ages of the team, it's all kids in the young 20s. As here comes Bailey in off the right wing for Aston Villa, gives it to John McGinn just outside the penalty area, held up by Gusto, pulls a clever ball back to Douglas Luiz, dummies the shot, passes to the right hand side to Matty Cash, who's in the penalty area. No one's marking. Moreno tried to pull it back from Watkins. He was very unselfish. Was he too unselfish, Moreno? He could have gone for a goal himself, but Villa in behind the Chelsea defence again.
Far too unselfish there. Moreno at the far post. He's only 2 yards from the corner of the box, and I'm thinking, just head it to the opposite corner. Keepers come over to protect the near post. He had a lot of space to head it, got it completely wrong, but Villa at the moment opening up Chelsea like it's an everyday thing.
I was at Stamford Bridge 12 days ago when Chelsea actually started really well, got in around the Villa defence regularly in that first half. Douglas Luiz's pass here goes in front of Moreno. Some groans from Aston Villa fans, but tonight it's been Villa who've been out to the blocks, and they are away to a counter. That surge a moment ago from John McGinn, his body language really, he was like a bull. He got the head down and he forced his way through.
And absolutely, and as a defender as well, Caicedo going towards his own goal, you have to make sure that you keep that ball away from your goal.
Another chance, Bailey, edge of the penalty area, tried to roll it into the feet of Tielemans. It was just in front of the Belgian, and that carries through and out for a goal kick. And Yuri Tielemans, who's been given a very advanced role from the start. He's not playing in the midfield, he's right up where Diaby would normally be, alongside Watkins.
Yeah, and I think, we've seen 2 passes go astray. One from Luiz trying to get Moreno in, too strong. One from Bailey trying to get Tielemans in, too strong. But if it's too strong, it's still positive, it's not short.
Here come Chelsea over the halfway line with Enzo Fernandez. He's got Nico Jackson ahead of him. This is just outside the penalty area, the Chelsea attack. Conor Gallagher comes to join the attack too, but no way through for him as Villa make life difficult for Chelsea and hold them up midway inside their own half. FA Women's League Cup tonight, Tottenham taking on Manchester City. Sahil Sahi's seen a goal.
Yeah, Manchester City have taken the lead. Conor, Tottenham 0, Man City 1 from a short corner. Yuri Hasegawa with a right-footed shot 25 yards away. It flew in. Tottenham 0, Man City 1.
And it's half-time in that competition. Brighton women leading Aston Villa women by a goal to 0. We'll keep you up to date with all the games taking place this evening, including that second Africa Cup of Nations semi-final, Ivory Coast against Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria have gone through on penalties against South Africa in the first semi. And speaking of penalties, this one, we will get an outcome either way tonight at Villa Park, even if it needs extra time, even if it was to need a penalty shootout. And something tells you that Emi Martinez would fancy the drama, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. He would take that now. He'd say, don't mind the 90 minutes, let's just have the penalty shootout.
He would love it, wouldn't he?
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0. FA Cup 4th round replay. Moises Caicedo turns away from Douglas Luiz neatly. Passes to the right hand side as Chelsea come forward, playing left to right as we look down. Gusto here in front of Noni Madueke, now bearing down on the penalty area, gives it a low pass. Palmer was arriving, but he was off balance as it came to him, and all he could do was really side-foot it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Palmer was arriving very, very perfectly timed, slightly on the angle, but if he gets a better connection, he tries to let the ball come across his body from the right hand side to his left foot, tries to open up his left foot, side foot it in the far corner, and it just catches his toe, takes all the play, all the power off the shot. Easy one for Martinez.
All the fortunes that Chelsea have spent over the past few transfer windows, it feels Cole Palmer's probably the best money they've spent so far in terms of what he's been able to return and to contribute. He's up to 12 goals for the season already, Cole Palmer. As Jure Petrovic has possession, away to our left-hand side. The Chelsea goalkeeper was the hero when Chelsea were involved in the penalty shootout in the League Cup quarter-final back in December, and he did very well against Newcastle. Here is Gusto on the halfway line for Chelsea. Palmer on the halfway line. Gusto wanted the return pass, but Palmer gets held up in heavy traffic in field, and it's back to the two central defenders. This is Five Live for the BBC. Villa Park tonight, this Wednesday evening under the floodlights. Ball out to the left for Chelsea, for Chilwell, whose first touch is excellent, but Cash gets back goal side. Now Enzo Fernandez makes a burst to the byline. Left hand side as Chelsea go forward, he tries to pirouette away from Leon Bailey, who stretches out a leg, and that is a corner to Chelsea, 0-0.
Yeah, Bailey had to be very, very careful there. Dangled a leg, got turned on his right shoulder towards the byline. The cross was just about to come in, just pokes it away for a corner. Got lucky, I think, Bailey.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0, 7 minutes played. Isasi goes forward, Badiashile goes forward. Plenty big tall men in the penalty area for Chelsea here as they await Chilwell's delivery. Here it comes, high, swirling. Free header though for Diego Carlos to try and head away. It comes back in and into the arms of Martinez. Wouldn't have counted for Chelsea anyway. Flag was raised when it was headed out by Villa. The flag went up when it came back in again. Chelsea players, I think a number of them, were offside. Now McGinn tries to send one over the top, down the other end, and out comes Jure Petrovic, a sweeper keeper, and nothing fancy from him. He puts it out for an Aston Villa throw.
It's crazy how you have a corner, and the corner's decent. The corner ends up on the penalty spot. Not one Chelsea player is attacking it. 3 Villa players in that area patrolling it. No challenge at all. Clear it quite easily. You've got to have the desire to get on the end of the ball.
Alex Moreno prepares to take the throw in for Aston Villa. This is just outside the penalty area. The Villa attack left-hand side, 0-0. Back to Clement Longley on the halfway line, and then infield to Diego Carlos. Pau Torres back on the bench. He's been out injured for the past number of games, but he is available as a substitute this evening. No Ezri Konsa, who was injured against Sheffield United the weekend, expected to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Forest against Bristol City, the other 4th round replay tonight, the latest from Lee Blakeman.
Forest 1, Bristol City 1. It's been all the visitors since that equaliser night. The goal scorer's just had a shot deflected wide, and Mehmeti's gone close at the near post. Well saved by Turner. Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
0-0 here at Villa Park as McGinn receives it with Gusto behind him, and then McGinn, frustrated he couldn't hold on to it the first time, lunges out at Moises Caicedo, commits a foul. Free kick to Chelsea on the edge of their own penalty area. Dion Dublin, what have you made of the body language of Chelsea players in these opening 9 minutes? A team that's been under a lot of scrutiny in the past few days.
Yeah, they have been. Listen, they're trying to do the right things. They're just warming to the game at the moment. Villa started like a house on fire, as you expected. Villa are all on the same page. I think Chelsea are trying to find the same book, never mind the same page at the moment. They do need to try and put a few passes together, a few combinations, a few triangles, and feel their way into the game.
Chelsea were runners-up in the FA Cup for 3 years in a row, 2020, 21 22, first time any club had been beaten finalists 3 years in succession in the FA Cup. I mean, such a proud history in this competition. They always seem to do well in it. And having already reached the Carabao Cup final, it feels like it would do Chelsea the power of good if they could get a run in the FA Cup as well. They need it, given their disastrous situation in the league, and you know, the gap between these sides has even widened since the first game when they met 12 days ago at Stamford Bridge. There were 12 points between them in the table. Now it's 15. Disasi has it on the edge of his own penalty area, and he'll give it short to Moises Caicedo. There are games in the Scottish Premiership this evening. 8 o'clock kickoff to Hibs against Celtic, and there's a penalty. Gavin Wallace.
There is indeed, Conor. 0-0 at the moment. Alistair Johnson went down under a hefty challenge. He's been stretchered off as well. We're just waiting on a couple of seconds or so for the referee to make his mind up, as a few Hibs players are encroaching into the box. It looks as if it'll be the debutant Adam Ida on loan from Norwich City.
Gallagher here at Villa Park scores for Chelsea. Right to the penalty area. Villa unable to get it away. They had a couple of occasions. It fell to Gallagher. Brilliant shot to the top left-hand corner. Back to Gavin Wallace and Hibs. Well, we'll go back for the update for that penalty in a moment, but lift off here for Chelsea and for Conor Gallagher, and Villa, for all their good start, they've given it away inside their own half and they've been punished. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I think it was Conor that gave the ball away down Villa's right, Chelsea's left. Nice hold-up play in the middle of the goal from Jackson. Rolls it back to Gallagher, who's just finding his way to the edge of the box, ambles into the box, rolls it back on his right foot. It's an easy side foot for Gallagher. Lovely, lovely work down the left-hand side for Chelsea. Now they're on the same page.
It's his first goal of the season. Conor Gallagher, who turned 24 on Monday, he took that ever so well. It was teed up for him nicely, but this season that Chelsea... he has put it into the very accomplished...
Yeah.
Able to clear, Bailey gets another chance, straight at the goalkeeper. Big chance for Villa to equalise. As it is, Petrovic makes the save.
Yeah, great from Moreno again down the left-hand side. Put it into a really good area. Watkins is there, Tielemans there, and Luiz is keeping it alive. It falls to Bailey, swings his left foot, but it just goes straight down the keeper's throat. Petrovic straight into his arm, straight into safety.
Longley, good work from him to pick out Watkins. What a shot on target, pushed over the top by Petrovic. It's end-to-end at Villa Park. Aston Villa, trailing by 1-0, get a corner.
Yeah, it's relentless at the moment. Villa are really looking for every opportunity to strike the ball at goal. They've hit the target 3 or 4 times already. I can see Watkins' body language. He's desperate to score tonight.
So corner to Aston Villa. John McGinn places the ball far side of the pitch from us. And here it comes. Left-footed delivery to the... Oh, he's looking for Tielemans, but he didn't put anywhere near enough on it. And a chance of a breakaway for Chelsea. Led by Gusto. Leaves it for Jackson. Back to Gusto again. Villa trying to get back. Here's a low ball into the area again. Too close to the goalkeeper. Martinez makes a very comfortable gather, and Gusto will be disappointed with his final product there. But it's not a bad game, Dion, end to end.
It's a great game at the moment. It really is. Both sides really going for it. When there's an opportunity to attack in numbers, they do that as well. Just a little bit of lack of composure just at the end there. Gusto should have just banged it across the box. Jackson sprinted 60 yards. There was a tap in there. His ball was too close to the keeper. The break was over.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Conor Gallagher's goal has improved the mood, but Chelsea have had so many setbacks. I mean, they took the lead at the weekend before losing. So many games they start well in, and then it crumbles away from them as the evening continues. So Mauricio Pochettino won't be counting any chickens just yet.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you do go ahead, that's when you do need those senior figures to sort of know how to manage that lead and how to take that lead forward and not to make mistakes, keep doing what you're doing. That's the senior figures that normally do that. With them being such a young team and a young squad, that's sometimes difficult to keep hold of.
Clement Longley has possession for Aston Villa, the French international. Plays a little 1-2 with his international colleague Conor. and then rolls it back to Martinez, whose clearance was rushed, and Douglas Luiz got barreled over there by Moises Caicedo. Referee's going to give a free kick to Villa for that. It's two players jumping in the air, but Caicedo cleaning out the opponent there like a linebacker in American football or something, and it's a free kick to Aston Villa.
He was always going to be late there, Conor. He was always going to be late. A bit of a loose one from Martinez, ends up going sky high, coming down with snow on it in the centre of Villa's half, and Luiz is there, and Caicedo just barrels into the back of him for no reason at all.
Aston Villa behind, but they have been very resilient this season. They've dropped fewer points from winning positions than any other team in the top flight. By the way, Celtic did score that penalty that we were about to bring you just when Conor Gallagher scored the goal here for Chelsea. So it's still Celtic won, still the early stages in that one. We've reached the quarter of an hour mark at Villa Park, and Chelsea fans who, have not had an awful lot to sing and dance about in recent times, they're the ones making most of the noise at the moment, and it's an increased allocation, as happens for FA Cup games. There's over 7,000 Chelsea fans who've been given tickets for this game here tonight, so they're making a right racket on the far side. Diego Carlos from inside the opposition half turns and rolls it all the way back to Emiliano Martinez, wearing black tonight with the white boots, short sleeves as always, and he'll roll it short to Clement Longley, and now to Moreno on the left hand side. Madueke tries to get close to him. McGinn will try to shuffle and twist his way from Gusto, but there's a hunger about Chelsea, and they win the ball off Villa again. Villa dithered a little bit there. Enzo Fernandez plays it into the penalty area, picks out Cole Palmer, not a shooting position, wide on the right hand side. Madueke was arriving, it's nudged away from him, but Chelsea remain on the attack. Palmer has it, crossing position on the right hand side, dummies with his left boot, gets it onto his right, still doesn't deliver into the penalty area, tries to do the same trick again, but Longley had seen it the first time and makes the challenge. Chelsea hold on to possession, but now they're back near the halfway line. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Fernandez now is just starting to get a feel for this game. Gallagher's finding his way just a little bit closer to Jackson. Caicedo as well, putting his foot in where he needs to, and Cole Palmer now is warming to it. So there's a lot of Chelsea players just finding their pace in this game, and they are starting to make a difference.
Foul by Douglas Luiz on Malo Gusto, free kick to Chelsea. Played out to the left wing, but Chilwell has picked out Nico Jackson in a pocket of space. He's into the penalty area again. Kamara tries to hold him up. The cross comes in. Madueke, awkward stance, tries to give it left-footed, but it's a sort of a side foot volley. It didn't have any power on it, and it's a comfortable save for Martinez. But Chelsea, having weathered a very early storm in the opening minutes from Aston Villa, they're dominating now.
Yeah, they are. I think Kamara there was very, very lucky. Jackson ran off the back of his shoulders, seen his number, got into that left wing area, into the box. I mean, nothing came of it, but Villa switching off slightly at the moment, and Chelsea, yeah, you're right, looking the sharper, trying to close Villa down in all areas.
Longley goes long, looking for the speed of Leon Bailey, and Chilwell gets back, judges it well, cushions the header into the arms of Petrovic, the goalkeeper Petrovic, who was player of the match in the first game 12 days ago. He was kept busy, particularly in the second half of that game. McGinn here winning possession back for Villa inside the Chelsea half. Longley has to slide, but he shifts it along, and Kamara to Diego Carlos. City, as Aston Villa should say, tried to gain a bit of poise in a game that is through sheer hard work really from Chelsea. They've been energetic, they've been incisive, they win the ball again here off Villa. This is happening too often, and Unai Emery will be wondering quite what's happening here as Madueke breaks towards the penalty area again. Long lays the defender between him and a shot. Madueke tried to curl it into the far bottom corner, but in truth he's well wide of the target. Poor shot, promising build-up though.
Yeah, it was, and again they break at such pace as well. I think it's Kamara that loses the ball. He tries to get back, but there's 4 or 5 blue shirts absolutely busting a gut to get in the box. I mean, it's the wrong kind of finish. He tries to open his body out there. Madueke, it doesn't really work for him, but again another effort which should have hit the target. And what Chelsea are doing now, instead of going to a 4-4-2 when they're out of possession, they're going to a 4-5-1, and they're overloading that midfield.
Chelsea lead by a goal to nil in this FA Cup 4th round replay away from home at Villa Park. And Villa's games have been so entertaining this season because they play so high, and they like to play in their opponent's half, and of course it leaves that space for a counter-attacking team like Chelsea to thrive on, and this could be very intriguing to see how it goes tonight. Let's check in with the night's other FA Cup fourth round replay. Back to the City ground, back to Lee Blakeman.
It's 1 Bristol City 1. Another good chance for the visitors though. Tommy Conway, it was all him. Took the ball well, cut in from the left, on his right foot. Brilliant save low down to his left by Matt Turner. You love that opportunity, Michael Brown.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was that long ball and then Bell just over his head as Conway took it on. And as he just gets to the penalty area, another touch, a wonderful shot right into the right hand corner. Matt Turner right across, great strong left hand, good save.
1-1.
Bristol City, who beat West Ham in the last round. Last time Bristol City knocked out 2 top flight clubs in the same FA Cup year was 1920, so they're chasing a bit of history there. Half-time in the Tottenham-Manchester City game of the FA Women's League Cup. Here's Sahil Sahi.
Tottenham 0, Man City 1, Conor, and it's a deserved lead. Yui Hasegawa with the ferocious strike from 25 yards, which clipped the underside of the crossbar. The Tottenham goalkeeper, she had no chance. Half-time, Tottenham 0, Man City 1.
It's already been a very dramatic day at the Africa Cup of Nations. We'll get the latest from the second semi-final in a moment, but here come Chelsea on the attack. Gusto's cross from the right-hand side. Jackson doubles Chelsea's lead. Super header down into the bottom corner. So difficult for Martinez to try and get to that. And Chelsea, who have had a horrible week, have suddenly turned a corner and now lead by 2-0 away at Aston Villa. We've only played 20 minutes, but Chelsea hoping that they're on their way to the 5th round already.
That's incredible from Chelsea. Just that change in that formation, overloading that midfield now. They're starting to win the ball back higher in the centre of the pitch. I mean, Gusto has been so high. He's been higher than the centre forward on that right-hand side. It's a fantastic cross, by the way. It just rolled into his path. He's level with the penalty spot on the right-hand side. He crosses the ball to the penalty spot. Jackson's there, where any good centre forward should be. All he has to do is get his forehead on it. He's in between the centre half and Cash, and he puts it in the bottom corner. What a header, what a break. At the moment, Chelsea are on fire.
Nico Jackson on his first start for Chelsea of the calendar year, having been away at the Africa Cup of Nations. And we often speak about the confidence of strikers, the body language, the way he just allowed that ball almost hit his head, knowing he guided it. He didn't have to attack it, he didn't have to add any momentum to it. That's a sign of a striker in form, and not often we say that about someone wearing Chelsea blue this season.
Yeah, and you know what people are saying, has he got it? Has Jackson got what it takes? Today, or tonight should I say, he's just had a bit of a swagger about him. He's getting the ball, he's doing a few lollipops, he's finding himself on the right and the left. A lot of interchange in that centre forward position, but when he needed to be where a centre forward should be, he was there.
Yeah, his position tonight is interesting, Jackson. His starting position, if you like, is the left-hand side of the attack, almost a sort of an old Thierry Henry sort of position, but getting into the penalty. Villa in trouble again. Here's Gusto into the penalty area. Moreno was beaten by the bounce, tried to pull it back for Palmer, and it's cleared away. And Villa are living dangerously here, as time and time again they give it away. They've done it again. McGinn to Enzo, pushes it into the penalty area, can't find Palmer, and it's through to Emi Martinez. Villa need to get their act together, or this game could run away from them.
Yeah, and I think what you've just said there, Conor, is absolutely spot on. They've given it away again. That's what's happening at the moment. They are completely on different pages. The game has changed 100%. Chelsea are on the same page, playing some very good football, counter-attacking football, and as you can hear, it's quiet here. There's no Villa fans singing at all. It's all Chelsea.
Villa, who have had the best home record in the Premier League this season, beaten here in their last home game. I was at that match last week when Newcastle won here, and now they trail 2-0, but here comes Ollie Watkins. Disasi is the defender back. Watkins taken outside the penalty area, gives it to Yuri Tielemans. Now back to Leon Bailey, floats it in, good ball. Douglas Luiz tries to head it down. Gustafsson had to clear the ball away, and as previously advertised, let's join Henry Moran, who's keeping track of progress. Ivory Coast against DR Congo in the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, the winner will go through to face Nigeria in the final. Goalless after 24 minutes. Disallowed goal for DR Congo. Ivory Coast have come close via Brighton's Simon Adingra.
Thanks very much, Henry. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2 here. Matty Cash into the penalty area for Villa. It's been non-stop this game. It's not got bogged down in midfield at all. It's one team attacking after the other. On this occasion, Villa are caught offside, and that is a free kick to Chelsea. So great start to the night for the Chelsea men's team here. What about the Chelsea women's side? They're playing Sunderland. Becky Ives.
It's a pretty good night as well. We've just got a free kick here for Chelsea women, mirroring game. 60 minutes in, Chelsea 3-0 up. Aggie Beaver-Jones with a third goal. Picks up the ball in the midfield, struck at the near post, basically unchallenged, unmarked. And that sealed them their third. Chelsea 3, Sunderland 0.
Thanks very much, Becky. So Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Conor Gallagher and Nico Jackson with 2 really well taken goals to belie the crisis club tag that Chelsea have been wearing heavily over their shoulders, not just this week, but for much of the season. Now Tielemans down the other end, gives it to Bailey, tried to hit it with his less favoured right boot, and Badiashile was just able to clear away. Villa, they're trying to keep their heads up. They are used to coming back in games that they trail in, and they'll believe there's a long way to go here, and they are creating chances as Palmer is adjudged to be fouled by Watkins. Free kick to Chelsea. Villa fans not happy with that.
Yeah, a little bit of defensive work for Palmer, going towards his own corner flag, towards his keeper. Everybody thought he was going to roll it back to Petrovic. Not on this occasion. Dropped his shoulder, tried to get out of himself, gets fouled, takes the pressure off his team. I mean, Palmer's all over the place. He's all over the place.
Celtic still leading 1-0 away at Hibs tonight in the Scottish Premiership. It is 0-0 in the other 3 games taking place in that division at the moment. Here is Badiashile, edge of his own penalty area for Chelsea, playing an accurate ball to Enzo Fernandez, who'll bring it up to the halfway line for Chelsea. There's a swagger about Chelsea tonight. Chilwell puts it in front of Nico Jackson, again in that left channel. Diego Carlos trying to stand him up on the edge of the penalty area. Jackson goes around him, loses his footing by the byline, and he's run the ball out of play before bringing it back in again. Goal kick to Aston Villa, who trail on 5 Live by 2-0.
Yeah, there is a swagger about Chelsea at the moment. Fernandez in that midfield, what he's doing a lot of the time, Fernandez, he's got his back to Villa's goal, he's in the centre of the pitch, and he's just swinging that right foot, and he's putting gusto in at every opportunity in over Moreno's head. They haven't sussed it yet, Villa. They have to do something, because down the left and down the right, Chelsea are getting in at will.
Chelsea, who have beaten Aston Villa the last 3 FA Cup ties that they've been against each other. 2 of them have been played at Wembley, including the final in 2000, the semi-final in 2010. 2-0 already is quite a target that Villa have to chase. But if any team can chase it this season, it probably is Villa. And no disrespect to the visitors, but if any team can throw away a 2-goal lead, it's probably been Chelsea this season. Madueke, midway inside his own half, does well. There's 2 Villa players down on the deck here as Chelsea hold on to possession. Moreno was the last to get up off his feet. Douglas Luiz too. Chelsea hold on to the ball still inside their own half.
Yeah, I've not seen this Chelsea at all this season. Every single player at this moment in this 15-minute period that they've had, they're looking incredibly confident. I think the fans have been waiting for a performance like this. They need to sustain it if they want to get over the line, Chelsea, but the period they've had so far, they've looked absolutely brilliant.
That's the question. Can Chelsea sustain this? Douglas Luiz inside his own half, turning under pressure from Madueke, right up against the chalk of the sideline, manages to keep the ball in play. Clement Longley on the edge of his own penalty area for Villa, gives it to Diego Carlos. Remember, Villa without their ostensibly first choice centre-half pairing at the moment, with Konza out injured and Pau Torres just returning from injury. They've given it away again, Villa. I haven't seen them have so many misplaced passes in a game all season as they're having tonight. Unai Emery will be scratching his head. Ball in from the left-hand side, too close to Diego Carlos, and he'll clear it away to Leon Bailey, 15 yards inside his own half. Chelsea working so hard, though, as players get back, swarm around him, and there's no chance of a Villa counter-attack.
Yeah, it's difficult at the moment, because down that left-hand side, because Cash is trying to get forward down the right, Villa's right, so high. If Villa give it away in the middle of the park, then Chelsea are in down the left-hand side. Moreno's having a bit of a stink on his left-hand side for Villa. He doesn't want to get forward.
Caicedo rolls the ball back to Petrovic. Chelsea will build from deep with Badiashile on the edge of his own penalty area. Gives it to Ben Chilwell. Infield to Moises Caicedo. Watkins tries to shrug him off the ball, but gives away the free kick. And in their endeavour here to try and win possession back, Villa are rushing things a little bit. Gusto to Madueke just over the halfway line. McGinn gets back also. Madueke accelerates away from the Scotsman though. That's great work. Then he gives it to Palmer. Crossing position on the right hand side, and it's played off a defender and out for a corner. Chelsea corner on the right. Chelsea who lead Villa 2-0 away from home here in the FA Cup.
Yeah, Madueke there just in front of the dugouts there, just showing his manager, have a look at this please. Boss, and he drops his shoulder. McGinn takes the drop of the shoulder and he goes inside and creates another bit of havoc down the right hand side for Chelsea. They've got a corner now. More problems for Villa maybe.
Mauricio Pochettino would love the insurance policy of a third goal here. That would make him feel even more relaxed, but he's got to be very pleased with these opening half an hour we've had. 30 minutes at Villa Park. Corner to be taken by Chilwell. Left-footed player from the right-hand side. This will be an in-swinger. Floated. Martinez stays on his goal line. Longley's header. Straight up in the air. The Frenchman gets a second touch on it. Villa should be able to clear here. Bailey tries to get away from Gallagher, who traps him in with a fair tackle. Villa wanted a free kick. Play on, says the referee. Madueke steps into the box once again. It's a busy box, having just defended a corner, and he'll roll it off a defender for another corner kick to Chelsea, who continue to hold dominance in this game.
Yeah, the fans don't like the challenge, but I've got a couple of screens here in front of me, and Gallagher gets the ball, no problem at all. He might take a bit of the man, but it's a very good challenge. And Madueke again, he's off down that right hand side. Villa have got to quash this Chelsea pressure somehow.
Chelsea very attacking. They're leaving no one back near the halfway line. Everyone is up around the penalty area. Gallagher just on the edge with Gusto, but a very busy 18-yard box awaits as the ball is rolled short from Chilwell to Palmer. Now to the edge of the area to Gallagher. Villa tried to step out a little bit. Chilwell gets it again off Conor Gallagher and has a crack from the edge of the area, but drags it wide of the target. Another chance for Chelsea, who still lead 2-0.
Yeah, they had something set up there, Chelsea. I knew exactly what they were trying to do. Chilwell's touch wasn't quite right when he got it back for the second time, and then the pass was off because his touch wasn't right, so Villa got away with that. They really have to keep the ball better, Villa. Go round that midfield, because Chelsea are packing the midfield. Go round it.
It's been a much more assured performance from Chelsea so far, and we do have to say that because we've seen this movie a couple of times this season. Longley here gives it to McGinn. Villa move into the Chelsea half. Moreno on the left is tackled by Gusto, and Chelsea are winning those 50-50 battles at the moment. You mentioned before the game, Dion, you were chatting with Rob Green and Kelly Summers, and you said, maybe the Chelsea players will have a little chat themselves and try and solidify things. It seems something has shifted in the mood. More of that in a moment as Madueke comes on the attack down the left-hand side, gives it to Gallagher, and now to Gusto. Villa, all they could do is drag bodies back behind the ball and try to contain a rampant Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea hold on to it and back to the halfway line.
Yeah, they're taking control of this game now, Chelsea. Playing across the back four, then into the midfield, then back again. They've given it away now, but...
Good challenge by Conor to win it back for Aston Villa. Then a few groans from Villa fans who wanted the ball propelled forward quicker there, and when Diego Carlos does eventually go long, it's straight out of play, and it's just crossed wires that we're not used to seeing for Villa, but a lot of misplaced passes tonight. Now, is that Villa having an off night, or is it the pressure Chelsea are putting on?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest with you. I really do, because Carlos normally plays that pass from the centre of the pitch as a right side centre half. He wants Moreno to be further forward. You can't have Ollie Watkins out on the left hand side. Moreno's having a bit of a hard night tonight, and he doesn't want to gamble going forward.
McGinn and Caicedo were wrestling for the ball. They were sort of locked together, their legs wrapped around each other, the ball in the middle, backside to backside. You're not going to beat John McGinn in a backside to backside sort of shuffle. And,
what are you saying?
You know exactly what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
That is one of his great skills, John McGinn, is using the lower half of his body to very good effect to push opponents away. and fair play to him for it. Free kick to Aston Villa inside the Chelsea half. Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Douglas Luiz will be the man to take the free kick. McGinn's gone in to stand in a blatantly offside position. Villa do this a lot. They scored against Manchester United with a routine where one of the Playley went in behind the goalkeeper. Here is the delivery, high, swirling. Badiashiel's header a bit uncertain. Madueke's got work to do here, but he gets there ahead of Ollie Watkins, and he's able to clear the ball away. Watkins tries to pursue him. Madueke's having a storming in. Look at this. He's got away from two of them, and he scorches his way into the Aston Villa half. He's nearly in the penalty area. Lays it off to Cole Cole Palmer onto his left boot, shoots on target. Martinez makes the save. That's brilliant work by Madueke.
Yeah, it is, because he's in a defensive position about 5 yards away from his own box. He's used his strength, he's held off Ollie Watkins, he's nudged it past him, and then he's nudged it past Louise as well, with strength, power and desire. Haven't seen this from Chelsea players in a long time, and they're maintaining it towards the end of this first half.
It's half-time in this evening's other FA Cup fourth round replay. Nottingham Forest against Bristol City at the City Ground. Here is Lee Blakeman.
Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Forest ahead early on. Felipe with a header from a corner that Origi diverted in. Bristol City level through Knight, who converted after Turner tipped a king shot onto the post. Visitors with the better of the chances since then. Michael Brown.
Yeah, they were, obviously, after that early shot when Felipe just drifted that header in off Origi, wondering is it going to be all Forest. Great reaction with the Jason Knight goal, but then Tommy Conway could have made it 2-1. Wonderful effort, wonderful desire from this Bristol City side to get back into the game.
Half-time, Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
10 minutes to half-time here. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Ben Chilwell takes the Chelsea corner. Badiashile jumps, couldn't get a touch. Here's Caicedo, completely messes his shot on the edge of the penalty area. Maybe a chance of a breakaway for Aston Villa now. Bailey picks it up, but he's tackled by Gallagher. That's happened time and time again. As soon as Aston Villa tried to unload a counter-attack, they get penned in and they get held back, and Chelsea being rewarded for an extremely high work rate in these opening 35 minutes away from home at Villa Park. If you're just joining our coverage on 5 Live, Conor Gallagher set Chelsea on their way. Nico Jackson with a very well placed header made it 2-0. Villa haven't been able to trouble Petrovic in the Chelsea goal down the other end. Here comes Alex Moreno down the left hand side for Villa, but he's got to retreat back to the halfway line to hold on to possession, and Chelsea continue to keep Aston Villa at bay here. This is Camara back near the edge of his own penalty area, near the centre circle, gives it into the centre circle to Diego Carlos. Now that ball out to Moreno, and again it's overcooked. They can't pick a pass at the moment. Villa out for a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, I think that just Chelsea's organisation is what's rushing Villa. The passes aren't what they normally are. Moreno can't get on the end of that pass there from Carlos. I mean, Gallagher in the centre of the pitch, he's the leader for Chelsea at the moment. Everything's going right for them. Fernandes and Caicedo have been the ones that are just sitting in front of the back four as well. It's all working for Chelsea.
Here's Tillemans inside the penalty area, picked out by McGinn. Enzo Fernandez has got to be careful in the penalty area. Tangle of the 2 number 8s. Ball goes out for a corner. Enzo Fernandez furious with the referee. He says that should be a goal kick. He was tangling inside his own penalty area. Argentinians to be very careful not to give away a spot kick there. Corner to Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz is already taking it, and Villa realising the urgency here. They would love to get one back ahead of half-time. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Corner from the left-hand side as Villa come forward. Short run up for Douglas Luiz. Low trajectory. Watkins tries to flick it onto the front post, but Malo Gusto collects, and he's able to clear away. Sprinting after him, Diego Carlos to try and put pressure on. Gusto, though, keeps it going all the way to the halfway line. Taken down by a frustrated Diego Carlos. Free kick to Chelsea, who continue to win those 50-50 battles. And a few Chelsea players swarm around the referee, wondering if that might not be a yellow card for Diego Carlos there. It is a yellow card. I mean, Gusto there just taking the pressure off his side. He's stopping, he's starting, he's running towards the halfway line, to the corner of the halfway line. He gets there, but he gets nibbled 2 or 3 times by Carlos, and he goes again, and he stops and he goes again. And Carlos just has no answer to his movement and his desire. Brings him down, gets himself a yellow card. First booking of the game. Chelsea finished with 10 men against Villa when they met in September. Malo Gusto sent off. Chelsea lost by a goal to 0. This evening it's Chelsea who lead 2-0. And Gusto's in possession on the halfway line. Gives it to Conor Gallagher, scorer of Chelsea's opening goal. Outside him, Madueke. Gallagher felt he was fouled just after releasing the pass. Referee says play on because Chelsea still have possession. Disasi gets it back on the halfway line. Caicedo out to Badiashile, then a ball down the left channel. Chilwell hadn't made the run that Badiashile thought he did. And I'm just looking at the body language here. Loads of Chelsea players turning and applauding Badiashile. That's the worst pass Chelsea have played in the game, but they say don't worry, keep the head up. That's great to see that team bonding.
Yeah, it is, and they're all on the same page. They're all with each other, they're all in the right positions. I think the clever thing is Pochettino now, he's got his goals, They were at a 4-5-1 when it wasn't going too well. Now they've gone back to a 4-4-2.
Watkins gives it out to Bailey, attacking down the right wing for Aston Villa. 3 defenders around him though, and Nico Jackson sprinting back makes the challenge that puts it out, and that sums up how hard Chelsea are working and how they are perspiring to hold on to this 2-goal lead. Watkins, who's had to be very patient tonight, he's had very little of the ball. Villa throw in, flicked on by Bailey inside the penalty area. Watkins jumps with Caicedo. Then Enzo Fernandez rises. Diego Carlos, strong, forceful header. Head tennis at the moment as Chilwell gets it away. Then down on the deck again, just about by Douglas Luiz, but he gives possession to Chilwell, who launches it long into the Aston Villa half, and Martinez, who's midway into his side's defensive territory, way out of his penalty area, feeds it to Longley. Clement Longley will bring it over the halfway line and runs into trouble again. And Villa, I mean, it must be more than 50% of the time when they try to come over the halfway line, they get tackled immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Disasi there, centre-half for Chelsea, and Barry Shield, those two. I'm watching, the communication's great, the distances between the two centre-halves is very good as well. They're marshalling that back four, and it's working for Chelsea at the moment. Very organised back there, the two centre-halves for Chelsea.
Lee Watkins, trapped in by the corner flag, does well, plays it off the shins of a defender, gets a throw-in for his team. This is 5 yards from the corner flag that Aston Villa attack down the left-hand side. 40 minutes on the clock at Villa Park. Concern in the faces of home fans. This isn't what they were expecting tonight against a Chelsea team who've been in such disarray, but Villa trail 2-0. Badia Shields' header out to the penalty area. Gallagher jumps to try and flick it on a bit further, and then he nips it away from Moreno and is fouled again, and it's another free kick to Chelsea, and that relieves the pressure from Mauricio Pochettino's team.
Yeah, it doesn't. They're not going to take a quick one here, Chelsea. They know that they want to go in half-time with that 2-goal lead. They've been very good, Chelsea, for 25 minutes, half an hour of this first half. Started off really poorly. I'm thinking, here we go again, because Villa were great, and then Chelsea have just taken complete control of this game.
Chelsea, who opened the scoring against Wolves on Sunday, ended up losing 4-2. They've got a 2-goal lead here at Villa Park. And as we've mentioned, Aston Villa have got the best record in the Premier League of coming from behind to win points, and they will know this is not over yet. Gusto has it, 10 yards outside the penalty area that Chelsea are attacking. Slight lull in the game, so let's go to the Africa Cup of Nations. Ivory Coast against DR Congo. Henry Moran.
Heading towards half-time, Ivory Coast should have the lead. Massive chance for former West Ham striker Sebastian Haller. He gets his header all wrong from the edge of the 6-yard box. It remains Ivory Coast 0, Democratic Republic of Congo 0.
Earlier on today, Iran 2, Qatar 3 in the Asian Cup semi-final. Qatar are into the final in that competition. Here in the FA Cup, Malo Gusto, 10 yards inside his own half, turns, rolls it back to Disasi. Gallagher back to the goalkeeper Petrovic. Chelsea belying recent form, recent results, and putting on must be one of the best performances of the season so far. Can they keep it up for the full 90 minutes? Jackson goes down. Good challenge by Diego Carlos. Jackson slowly get back to his feet.
Yeah, Diego Carlos has got to be careful there. Slightly overzealous on Jackson. Got to remember you're on a yellow card, young man.
Another challenge won by Chelsea, but Chilwell this time committing a foul on Bailey. And that will be a free kick to Aston Villa just inside their own half. A reminder, we're building up to England against Wales in the Six Nations of the weekend. There's a couple of podcasts to look out for from 5 Live. Sam Warburton talks us through his favourite Wales v England games. Chris and Ashley join Danny in the England camp for the Rugby Union Daily, which you can pick up each morning of the Six Nations on BBC Sounds. Commentary of the game Saturday on 5 Live, 4:45. Here at Villa Park in the FA Cup. Aston Villa trail 2-0. Tielemans tries to play it into the penalty area, straight to Gusto though, and that back four for Chelsea, we do not say this often, they've been rock solid so far tonight. No errors at the back from Pochettino's team in this game so far. McGinn, midway into Chelsea territory, plays a misplaced pass, not where Moreno wanted to receive it. Caicedo's neat touch to Madueke. Back to Caicedo again as Chelsea work their way up to the halfway line, and then Douglas Luiz commits the foul. Free kick to Chelsea. Villa forced back again.
Yeah, you know what Chelsea have done so well is the player on the ball has always got 2 or 3 options. Caicedo now, he's finding his feet in that midfield, knowing when to pass it, when not to. Gusto's been great down the right-hand side, and Gallagher's been the catalyst. He might not be the most vocal, but his actions for Chelsea have been brilliant.
Mauricio Pochettino yet to win a trophy in English football. With Chelsea already into the League Cup final, could this be his year? It's Chelsea's first final in 2 years since they lost both the League and FA Cup finals on penalties to Liverpool back in 2022. McGinn gets it back for Villa on the halfway line, but the referee's already blown the whistle. Foul earlier in the move. Free kick to Chelsea into the final minute of normal time of the first half.
Yeah. I wonder if Thiago Silva's wife's going to be in the dressing rooms at half-time doing the half-time team talk.
Tweeting the support. If you missed the story of the week, Thiago Silva's wife Isabella, after the defeat at Wolves, she went on social media. She was basically that things have to change or before it's too late, and everyone took that to be that she wanted Pochettino to be sacked. And I mean, it puts poor old Thiago Silva in an awkward position, doesn't he? But Isabella did go on social media to backtrack furiously. And we believe that Pochettino, Thiago Silva have had their own discussions in private. The Brazilian on the bench tonight looking on it. You know, talk about strong management, and you don't get many bigger names in terms of presence and ethos and respect in the game than Thiago Silva. But that's quite a power move when you put him on the bench and then you put in a first half performance like this. I mean, who knows, maybe this is exactly the sort of incident Chelsea have needed to solidify things as Moreno attacks down the left, tackled by Gusto. It came last touch off Moreno, so it'll be a goal kick.
That has summed up Chelsea's half, or should I say 35 minutes, 38 minutes of it. Gusto there on the right hand side as a right back. Moreno does a little lollipop, goes down the left. His favourites across the ball. Gusto is putting everything he possibly can into making sure that ball doesn't go into Chelsea's box. He blocks it, back off Moreno, goal kick. That sums up Chelsea in the first half.
That's twice you've used the lollipop description, Dion.
Correct.
I am aware in the press room earlier on they were giving out lollipops.
Yes.
I'm wondering, is this connected?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. It's that running with the ball and you put your leg over the ball, try and go right, pretend to go right, go left. That's a lollipop.
That certainly is a lollipop. Certainly is a good night for Chelsea. They lead 2-0 here on the cusp of half-time at Villa Park. And in the Women's League Cup, Becky Ives.
It's Chelsea 4, Sunderland 0. Progression to the semi-final looks certain now. Frank Kirby getting the fourth. Kankovic down the right-hand side to Mia Fischel. Flick on. Back of the net from Frank Kirby. Chelsea 4, Sunderland 0.
John McGinn shoots for Villa and it's tipped over for a corner. Villa's best attack in some time. Watkins got to the edge of the penalty area. Unselfishly teed it up for McGinn. He struck it well, but Petrovic tipped it over.
Yeah, it was just a long throw down the right-hand side. Ollie Watkins held off Badia Shield, went over his head. Watkins rolls it across the box and unfortunately McGinn couldn't hit the target.
Villa hoping they can get a sprinkle of FA Cup magic of their own here, because it's not been a good night for Unai Emery's team. Can they make this corner count? Douglas Luiz swings it in. Defensive header away by Caicedo. Falls to Moreno, who tries to hit it with his right boot. And he's very much a left-footed player. And that skids off his laces and well off target in the end. Goal kick to Chelsea. And we've played the 2 minutes that were due to be added on. Mauricio Pochettino is already halfway down the sideline, heading towards the corner flag where the tunnel is, and that is the walk of a satisfied man. Look at that swinging of the arms by Pochettino. He knows there's more work to do, but he knows that 45 minutes could hardly have gone better for his under fire Chelsea team.
Brilliant from Chelsea. I've got to say, they started off really poorly. They were sort of playing as individuals in the blue shirts, and Villa were great when they came out. Fans were noisy. 5-8 minutes into it, Chelsea found their feet, and then they just started to take control. The quality of the player, the quality of the organisation. Two centre-halves have been brilliant as well. Well done Chelsea first half.
First goal by Conor Gallagher, the second by Nico Jackson, both taken really well. And Kelly, this is why we love the FA Cup, because league form goes out the window. Chelsea have found some sort of sparkle, and they lead Villa 2-0 here.
Well, what a first half for Chelsea. Back-to-back defeats, conceding 4 in both, travelling away to a team who are usually so impressive at home, and they're cruising. Rob Green, the former England goalkeeper, is alongside us. Also, of course, former Chelsea goalkeeper. Rob, is it safe to say we didn't see that coming?
We all predicted it, didn't we, Kelly? It was absolutely as we expected. No, I think Dion's spot on. I think it was really interesting that Villa started quick, and when they did, it was because they were turning Chelsea. They just were going along. They weren't doing anything flash. They weren't doing anything extravagant. They were just turning them and using their energy. And then just before the goal, you saw Unai Emery turn to them and say, OK, calm down, let's try and play some football. Kamara got caught on the ball, Chelsea went on the attack and went and in a flash had scored. and they were brilliant off the ball. Chelsea were fantastic off the ball. They weren't that bothered about being on the ball, and all of a sudden you saw the box midfield in there with Cole Palmer and Conor Gallagher as the front two almost, just turn around and say, you can have the ball, but when we win it, we're going to go. And they had that energy, they had that dynamism, and they really tore them apart at times.
Dion Dublin, I don't think I've ever heard you so excited about another team's performance when it's against one of your former clubs, but you were impressed by Chelsea in that first half, weren't you?
Yeah, Kelly, they were very good. I think what Green just said there is absolutely spot on. They started to overcomplicate it, but Chelsea did change it. They went into that little five in the midfield, and Caicedo and Fernandes didn't move from the toes of their two centre halves, and they made it really difficult for Villa to go through the centre of the pitch. And then they tried to go long, their passes were going wrong, and it was just so disjointed from Villa for 35 minutes of that first half. And the opposite for Chelsea, all that quality came shining through for Chelsea. Individuals, Jackson's been excellent up front, and I think the two centre halves, or should I say the whole of the back four for Villa, don't know where they are. Chelsea have been great, endeavour, work rate, organisation. Yes, I'm talking about Chelsea here. Brilliant in the first half.
Dion, I'm going to let you go and get a cup of tea, but quickly, have you brought your usual pick and mix with you to the game? I know that's what you normally take
I'd
to
never let you
games.
down, Kelly. I'd never let you down.
What have you got today?
I've got some pencils today. I've got pink and green on the outside, and yellow and blue on the inside. So, you know what I mean, Kelly? I'll never let you down.
You're just as good at describing sweets as you are football commentary, Dion. Go and get yourself a cup of tea, and we'll be back with Dion very shortly. Rob Green, don't go anywhere. I want to know, is that Chelsea's best 45 minutes of the season so far?
I think it's one of the most unexpected, isn't it? And I think it's the one that you turn around and say, OK, we can buy into this as a fan base, and it's not always going to be perfect. And the guys are absolutely right. Some of the passes did go astray, and some of it wasn't scintillating when they're on the ball. They weren't actually that fast. When they got the ball, they were sort of just passing it. It will create something. But the confidence that it showed and the direction that they had, it certainly felt like that was one that hasn't been there for recent weeks, that hasn't been there in performances. And you just went, wow, okay, you can see what this team's about. And we haven't seen that.
Where's it come from? Because I'm actually just sitting here watching replays of Conor Gallagher's goal, and the confidence with which he took that finish doesn't strike of a team or a player that maybe hasn't scored as many goals as he wanted. Admittedly, Conor Gallagher hasn't been one of Chelsea's main problems this season. He's probably been a standout performer. But where has this newfound confidence come from, do you think?
Well, it's all down to Thiago Silva's wife, isn't it?
That was going to be my next question, because you said that pre-match that it could galvanise them.
It's a response. It's a response, isn't it?
Do you really think that it is to that?
No, I think, but they know that the world's against them. It's a siege mentality. They may have used it. Who knows? Hey, get her to tweet something else for the weekend, but it's a brilliant response for half a game, but it is a response in the sense that the togetherness was there. The togetherness as a unit was there. They've gone into a really tough ground to go and play, and they've performed 45 minutes, and they've got it right, and they've done it. And we're asking where the goal's going to come from. Where are the players haven't done that, and Conor Gallagher's one of those. Doesn't bring a lot of goals. He took it perfectly, didn't he? It was a fantastic finish, and the confidence has grown from there. So you're really looking at as Pochettino walked out, they said, how do you want your team to play? Like this. And they've done it to a T.
Yeah, brilliant first half performance from Chelsea. We'll be back for the second half at Villa Park very shortly. But let's get the latest from the football taking place elsewhere. Firstly, the latest from AFCON. Henry Moran is watching Ivory Coast versus the Democratic Republic of Congo, and it's half-time, Henry.
A half-time goalless, the right to face Nigeria in Sunday's AFCON final. Ivory Coast have had a tumultuous tournament, but they've played well tonight. Aller's two good chances have been spurned. Frank Kessie striking the base of the post. For DR Congo, Cedric Bakambo's disallowed goal early on following a corner, as close as they've come. I should mention a dramatic moment during the DR Congo national anthem, the players covering their mouths in recognition of continuing violence inside the country. Half-time, Ivory Coast 0, DR Congo 0.
There are 3 games taking place in the Women's League Cup tonight as well. Sahel Sahi is watching Tottenham versus Manchester City.
Well, we played 64 minutes of this game, Kelly. It's still Tottenham 0, Man City 1. Yuri Hasegawa with the goal in the first half. Man City are on top, but Tottenham are offering a threat as they come forward. Only a goal separates the two sides. Tottenham 0, Man City 1.
Well, it's been a very good evening for Chelsea men so far, and it's been a very good evening for Chelsea's women's team as well. Big win for them against Sunderland. Becky Ives, how's that one finished yet?
Not quite, but Frank Kirby has just added a fifth. So I think, Kelly, we can say that Chelsea are going to go comfortably through to the semi-final of the League Cup this evening. Sunderland, they will put their focus back on the league. They currently sit second in the Championship, so maybe they'll be hoping that this fixture becomes a regular in the WSL next season. But right now, this game is going to end with about 45 seconds left. Chelsea 5, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, I think Becky might be right. I think Chelsea might be through there. In the other game taking place tonight, it's currently Brighton 1, Aston Villa 1. And in case you missed it, London City Lionesses versus Arsenal has been postponed. But the London City Lionesses have sacked their manager, Carolina Moraes, despite that game not taking place. Back into the FA Cup now. Let's get the latest in the game between Nottingham Forest and Bristol City. Lee Blakeman.
Forest 1, Bristol City 1. 6 minutes gone in the second half. Another good opportunity for the visitors. This time short corner on the right. Mehmeti into the area right side. Tried the shot. Another good save by Turner at his near post. Bristol City with a free kick here wide on the left. They've got plenty forwards for it at the moment, though. Still Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
There's 4 games taking place in the Scottish Premiership tonight as well. Let's get the half-time score between Hibs and Celtic from Gavin Wallace.
Hibernian 0, Celtic 1. On loan Norwich striker Adam Ida opened the scoring and opened his Celtic account from the spot on 10 as Alistair Johnson was stretchered off for a nasty head knock. The Irishman dispatched the penalty with ease as he opened up his right foot and left David Marshall with absolutely no chance. Ida had the chance again to double the lead later. A 1v1 with David Marshall. He was down to save well, but Ellie Ewan will be absolutely searching beyond as he should have levelled from 8 yards. He was the first to get to a cutback, but blasted way over. Half-time, Hibernian 0, Celtic 1.
And so there's not been many goals elsewhere, so Gavin will be delighted that we've sent him there. In the other 3 games, it's Kilmarnock 0, Livingston 0, St Johnstone 0, Hearts 0 and St Mirren 0, Dundee 0. And confirmation that game that Becky was telling us between Chelsea women and Sunderland has finished 5-0. Emma Hayes' side into the semi-final. Some other news to bring you from the Scottish Premiership as well. Ross County manager Derek Adams has left the club after resigning from his position. Now we'll be back at Villa Park for second half commentary very shortly. But firstly, let's get the news on 5 Live with Tim Daly.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yes, good evening. Police searching for the man suspected of inflicting serious injuries on a woman by throwing corrosive chemicals over her in South London say the pair were in a relationship which had broken down. A huge manhunt has been underway to find 35-year-old Abdullah Zedi since the attack in Clapham last Wednesday. Our home editor, Mark Easton, says police are making a new appeal for more information from the public.
They'll actually be addressing that appeal in part directly to Izedi, telling him that the awful injury that he's got to his right eye could be potentially fatal, they say, if left untreated. They'll also be addressing that appeal to anyone who is supporting or harbouring Izedi. It seems at the moment the police still have more questions than they have answers.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel will not be satisfied with anything less than total victory over Hamas, dismissing its amended ceasefire terms as crazy. He was speaking after talks with the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken about a truce proposal which would see the release of Israeli hostages taken captive in October. The BBC understands Labour is to drop its policy of spending £28 billion a year on what it's called its Green Prosperity Plan. But sources inside the party are still saying the plan itself is not being scrapped and it remains committed to things like a publicly owned green power generation company. And the Prince of Wales has told the BBC the royal family really appreciate the public support and kind messages. Prince William returned to royal duties today for the first time since his father was diagnosed with cancer and his wife underwent abdominal surgery. And that's the news on 5 Live.
Throughout this month, Radio 2 is doing something very special.
Radio 2's Piano Room Month.
Some of our favourite artists are joining us at the Meadowvale Studios.
I'm Guy Garvey from Elbow.
I'm P.P. Arnold.
I'm Peter from the Libertines.
Giving us unique live performances alongside the BBC Concert Orchestra.
This is Radio 2's Piano Room Month.
Don't look back into the sun. Do it to yourself.
Sonically, acoustically, it was pretty perfect.
Radio 2's Piano Room Month continues throughout February.
Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to 5 Live Sport on your Wednesday evening. It is a big evening of football. 2 FA Cup replays taking place. We are live at Villa Park, where it is currently Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. We'll have second half to come of that very shortly. But quickly, we are going to turn our attention away from the football to another huge event taking place in the sporting calendar. We are just 4 days away from this year's Super Bowl, which will see the San Francisco 49ers take on the defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. For the very first time, the NFL's championship game is taking place under the bright lights of Las Vegas. Now, I'm very jealous because BBC Sports' Nesta McGregor is out in Nevada ahead of the big match. Nesta, you're joining us now. I bet you're having a rubbish time, aren't you?
I am. Don't be too jealous. And I only mean this very second because I'm actually in the hotel room and it's rained for 2 days. But apart from that, it's known as the Disneyland for adults, and it's definitely living up to its name, Kelly.
Well, good. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Sorry about the weather. My heart bleeds for you. Let's talk a little bit about Vegas, because it has grown into a massive sporting city over the past 10 years or so. And it must be so exciting. I can't even imagine what the excitement is like out there to host the biggest American sports event, one of the biggest sports events in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Vegas has always been known for its casinos and gambling, hasn't it? But in recent years, as you mentioned, it's become the home for sports. We only have to think of the biggest boxing matches recently. The UFC's here, Formula One, WWE, you name it. And it's hard to know where to begin because the Super Bowl is already the biggest day on the US sporting calendar. Like you say, when you look at the stats, 75% of Americans will be watching. But when you add Las Vegas to the mix, the party capital of the world, then it just takes it up another level. And let's not forget, if that wasn't enough, there's also this other narrative, the love story between a pop icon and one of the stars of the NFL as well. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit later. There really is something for everyone. It's estimated, Kelly, an extra 300,000 people will be arriving in Sin City this weekend. So as you can imagine, there's plenty of American football themed events to keep you busy and to keep your hands in your pockets as well. Allegiant Stadium, where the game is being held, only holds 65,000. So the majority of the 300,000 will have to find other ways to keep busy. This is Vegas. That's not hard.
Yeah, it's also expected to generate, isn't it, more than $600 million for the Las Vegas economy. The figures and the numbers are staggering, but there's also so much more to the Super Bowl than what actually happens on the field, isn't there? And it's going to be a real spectacle again this year.
Yeah, the money involved in the Super Bowl is incredible. But when we talk about American sports, that's no surprise because they are machines. You know, the players are some of the best paid in the world, should I say. Let's talk about the money. When we look at the Super Bowl halftime show, for example, Kelly, a 30-second advert, and that is 30 seconds, you're talking £6.5 million just for 30 seconds of TV. So if you can imagine, times in that by I don't know how many adverts, it certainly makes the money back. I saw one stat that says $23 billion, so about £23 million will be spent on gambling on the Super Bowl this weekend. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest sporting events of the year, isn't it? Well, Nesta, I hope you have an awful time. It sounds terrible out there. And of course, I hope it stops raining for you very soon. That's BBC Sports' Nesta McGregor out there in Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl, which takes place this weekend. Now, the game starts at 23:30 GMT on Sunday, and you will be able to listen to live commentary right here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And you can also follow live text commentary on the BBC Sports website and app. It's a huge sporting weekend across 5 Live this weekend as well, because we've also got full commentary of England versus Wales in the Six Nations on 5 Live Sport on Saturday from 4:45 p.m. But tonight, there is still a big 45 minutes ahead at Villa Park, where Chelsea are currently leading by 2-0 against an Aston Villa side who are usually so strong at home. Dion Dublin is recharged. He's had his pick and mix, and he's back for the second half alongside Conor McNamara.
Pick and indeed mix. Teams are back out, and Chelsea hoping to pick up where they left off. That was about as good a 45 minutes as Mauricio Pochettino has had at his time at the club. You use the word sustain. Can they sustain it, Dion Dublin, in this second period?
Yeah, that's the thing. What's the manager said, or Thiago's wife, at half-time to make sure that Chelsea continue this very, very rich vein of form they've had in the first half. We will see.
Backheel by Nico Jackson finds Conor Gallagher to sort of lay down the mood. This is a much more confident Chelsea than we have seen in recent times. Chilwell has it near the halfway line. Back to Badiashile. Accurate, crisp infield to Moises Caicedo. No changes in personnel over the break. We'll give you a reminder of the teams in full in just a moment. But if you weren't with us for the first half, Conor Gallagher scored the first goal. It was a right-footed shot from the edge of the penalty area to the top corner. And then the second goal, a header from Nico Jackson after a cross from Malo Gusto. Here is Tielemans looking for Watkins, and similar story for Villa as a pass goes astray when they try to launch an attack. Gusto will mop it up and roll the ball back to Jure Petrovic. So the Aston Villa team, Emiliano Martinez, the Argentinian World Cup winning goalkeeper. Back four of Matty Cash, Diego Carlos, Clement Longley and Alex Moreno. In the engine room in midfield, Boubacar Kamara alongside Douglas Luiz. Then Yuri Tielemans has been pushing forward in support of Watkins. McGinn's been on the left wing. Leon Bailey's been on the right wing. For Chelsea, Petrovic the goalkeeper. Back four, Malo Gusto, Axel Disasi, Benoit Badiashile and Ben Chilwell. In midfield, Moises Caicedo with Enzo Fernandez. Noni Madueke's been wide right. Cole Palmer alongside Conor Gallagher, almost in a sort of hybrid 10 false 9 role, the pair of them. Nico Jackson's been attacking off the left wing as Chilwell goes down, fouled by Bailey here, and another free kick to Chelsea inside their opponent's half.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's been the reaction to Villa losing the ball. They've kind of lost the ball with a stray pass, and it's kind of taken them a second or two to react to getting the ball back again, whereas Chelsea are giving it away and they're all wanting to get the ball back as quick as possible.
Seems like Villa always score in home games. Can Chelsea keep Unai Emery's team at bay? Travelling fans housed far side of the pitch from us. This is the sort of right wing position as their team attack in the second half, and they'll have come with no shortage of fear, I would have thought, tonight, given Villa's strong home record. Chelsea fans must be delighted their increased allocation for this FA Cup match, how well their team has been playing, but a long way to go. Moreno's header back to Clement Longley on the edge of his penalty area. Palmer sprints in to put pressure. Now Gallagher sprints too. There's no let up. Diego Carlos tries to pass his way through the press. Down goes Kamara, fouled by Enzo Fernandez. Free kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, but Fernandez and Caicedo in the middle of the park, they're doing it so well that they're literally on the toes of their own centre halves. There's no gaps at all for Ollie Watkins to get the ball in at his feet. It's working. That when they get the ball back, Chelsea, that one of them will go forward and one of them will stay.
I wonder what Unai Emery would have said to his players over half-time. He must have mentioned the record that Chelsea have of not playing as well in the second half of games and trying to use that as a motivational tool for his players. Chilwell turns in the left full-back position and clears away, but are the Cups going to save Chelsea's season? We know they've been underperforming in the Premier League. Could the Cup competitions, in the absence of European football this campaign, could the League Cup and the FA Cup turn what has been a mediocre campaign into one that might still have a happy ending for Mauricio Pochettino? Diego Carlos has the ball, yellow Brazilian boots, slowly makes his way up towards the centre circle. There's no big high pressing in this time. Unai Emery is animated, he's pointing fingers, he's out of the technical area. Kamara follows the instruction and gives the pass to Matty Cash, who tries to go around Chilwell, does well to keep the ball in play. Bailey hooks it in field. I'll tell you what it feels to me, Dion, as Villa make another mistake. It feels like Villa are down to 10 men. It just feels like Chelsea have an extra man, whatever is giving that effect. But time and time again, Aston Villa player finds himself 3 opponents around him, and yet they don't get space somewhere else.
Absolutely, I think Villa are getting the ball in all positions. They're getting there, apart from the back four, in all positions they're getting their head up, and they can't get a pass off because there's a blue shirt in front of them putting them under pressure. They force the pass, they give the ball away. Chelsea are back in control.
Villa need a break of some sort. McGinn has possession near the halfway line. So often he's an inspirer of this team as Longley plays the ball too far in front of Moreno. Same old story for Villa. The precision of that passing has not been good enough tonight, and the ball goes back to Petrovic, the Chelsea goalkeeper. They had an earlier start than us at the City Ground tonight in the other FA Cup fourth round replay. Well into the second half, Nottingham Forest, Bristol City. Here's Lee Blakeman.
65 played exactly. Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Not much to choose between the two teams at all. Nuno Espirito Santo trying to freshen things up. Awani on and Callum Hudson-Odoi on. At the moment, though, still Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
Last night in the FA Cup wins for Southampton, who'll go on to play Liverpool in the next round. For Leeds United, who were taken to extra time by Plymouth Argyle but won by 4-1 in the end. Leeds will play the winner of this tie. They'll be away at either Villa Park or Stamford Bridge. And Coventry City beat Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to nil last night. As here at Villa Park, here come Villa attacking down the left, and McGinn can't find a way to send in a cross, and the ball is cleared away. Chance for Madueke, who's having a storming game, to bring it over the halfway line. He's made up 40-50 yards here. Now he gives it to Enzo Fernandez, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Cuts back in on his right boot. A pass that flashes in front of Conor Gallagher. Palmer just about keeps it in play by the byline. Now can he get the angle here? Low from Palmer, gets it back from Gallagher, tries to shoot. That was too intricate. There wasn't enough room for that sort of manoeuvre. And Chelsea hold on to possession, but they're back well outside the penalty area once again. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Elsewhere tonight in the Scottish Premiership, still 0-0 between Kilmarnock and Livingston. Hearts are 1-0 up away at St Johnstone. Celtic got an early penalty and still lead away at Hibs, and it's 0-0 between St Mirren and Dundee. Earlier on in the Africa Cup of Nations first semi-final, Nigeria went through on penalties against South Africa. Ivory Coast against DR Congo currently underway, and that is still 0-0 in that semi-final. You're up to date on 5 Live. Chilwell for Chelsea on the left-hand side as they come forward. Tries to play the ball in field. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Was he fouled by Tielemans? He was, as he caught the trigger there, about to let fly with his right boot. That boot was hooked away from him by Tielemans. Free kick within 10 yards of the penalty area. Chelsea might well fancy a crack here. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, there's a few around this one. 25 yards out, maybe even 30 yards out. Gallagher, Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, they're all over the ball. I mean, the organisation, up front as well, that number 9 position has been taken up by Palmer, Gallagher, Madueke. They're mixing it up at the moment, Chelsea.
Kunku and Sterling go for a little warm-up jog. I think they just want a better view of this free kick. They're coming down the sideline to have a look at it. There's a committee meeting. Enzo Fernandez trying to steal another little yard there. Referee hadn't done the spray yet, but Thomas Bramall aware of all that and asked Enzo Fernandez to just bring the ball back to where the free kick was originally given.
Yeah, that was the school of Ivan Toney.
The Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney school of move the ball quickly while the referee's got his back turned.
I saw an article of The Athletic today. They said they analysed every free kick that someone has had a shot with this season in the Premier League. They say 15% of them, the player moved the ball before they took the free kick. Anyway, here is Enzo Fernandez. It's an enticing position. It's a long way out, but it's central. Chilwell is standing there too, but the body language suggests that it's going to be Enzo Fernandez. Here he comes, right-footed. Good shot, what a goal! Chelsea, 3-0 away from home at Villa Park. Enzo Fernandez rips off his shirt, runs to the Chelsea fans. This is a team that have come into this game with so much hurt, and Villa are getting the backlash of it now. Chelsea find some pride, find some creativity, and they found some football. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3, 8 minutes into the second half. What a free kick from Enzo Fernandez.
Just top class. That is world class. What a free kick. I'm thinking to myself, the wall is perfectly lined up. They're all going to jump in sync. Martinez has got everything under control. He gets half a hand on it, but that ball's gone 25-30 yards out, top corner. No keeper is stopping that. Fernandez and Caicedo in the middle of the park have taken charge of that. Fernandez has taken charge of that free kick, and he's sent Chelsea into the next stratosphere, let me tell you.
Do not adjust your radio sets. It really is 3-0 to Chelsea away at Aston Villa. This team which has been plagued by misery throughout the campaign. So much of the narrative has been too many youngsters. They've taken out the experienced players tonight, Sterling and Thiago Silva on the bench, but the kids are producing the goods just when Mauricio Pochettino has needed it the most. He has been under pressure. Make no mistake, you watch the footage of his press conferences this week, that is a manager under fire, and his team have come out backing his principles tonight, rising to the occasion, and Chelsea on their way to the 5th round of the FA Cup as Diego Carlos clears away for Aston Villa. As good as Chelsea have been, Villa have not been out of the traps at all tonight, and Leon Bailey wins a free kick from Ben Chilwell here just inside his own half. I'll tell you, if Villa come back from here, it'll be one of the great FA Cup comebacks.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to do a lot now, Conor. They've got to change the whole way that they're playing at the moment. Bit of a problem there between Chilwell and Bailey head to head, but the referee sorted that. Villa's football's got to be better, Endeavour's got to be... I mean, Chelsea, yes, they are the kids, yes, they are young, but the energy they are showing tonight, every time a claret and blue shirt has got the ball, they're faced by a blue shirt. There's no way of picking a pass. Can they continue it? That's the thing. Can Chelsea continue this pace?
Chelsea have lost the last 2 games in a row, conceding 4 goals in each of them. Lead by 3-0 here at Villa Park, which had been an impenetrable fortress at home for Unai Emery this season. Before the last home game here, when Newcastle scored 3 here and won, and now Villa have conceded 3 again. Here comes Leon Bailey. Good ball in front of Conor, but just rolls through to Petrovic, and the Chelsea goalkeeper makes the save. Villa need a spark, or their cup run is over.
I mean, that run there was from Kamara. He's going in the box, trying to get on the end of it. But Fernandes has followed him all the way into the box. Disasi as well, so he's got no way through. 2 players covering one man's run. That's desire.
Just seen a replay of the Enzo Fernandez free kick.
It's not bad, is it?
Talk about perfection. I mean, so many little variables. He hits it and it barely gets over the wall. So he hasn't gone too high. He skimmed the top of the wall, and then the goalkeeper, to be fair, comes across Martinez and is almost there covering the top corner, but it's right in the corner from Enzo Fernandez. Unstoppable free kick.
Yeah, just amazing as well. And when you've got time to get yourself set up and it's the keeper against you, absolutely amazing.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3, 57 minutes played at a stunned Villa Park. Chelsea fans sing that they're going to Wembley. Free kick to Villa, 15 yards outside the penalty area they attack. Right hand side as Unai Emery's team comes forward. Enzo Fernandez has got involved in a little Argentinian-Brazilian differing of views there with Douglas Luiz. The referee is just going to call across the pair of them to defuse all of that. Cole Palmer trying to disrupt Villa by standing right on top of the ball, and of course he's going to have to go back 10 yards, but this is all just adding to the pent-up frustration that Aston Villa will be feeling here. They won't believe how this has gone away from them, how toothless they've been. Palmer now being asked by the referee to retreat, and he does so ever so slowly. Villa wait. Chelsea defence holding a high line. They're along the edge of the penalty area. Cash runs over it. McGinn with a little dink. Plays a nice ball in. Diego Carlos closest to it, but his header is away off target. Goal kick to Chelsea, who are thoroughly in control.
Yeah, it's not a bad balling action from McGinn. It's a nice in-swinger. I mean, unfortunately, Carlos gets the header completely wrong. He's should be really hitting the target there. He's got his hands on his head. Knows he should have done better.
Also 9 o'clock kick-off, Hibs against Celtic tonight in the Scottish Premiership. They'll be well into the second half there too. Gavin Wallace.
54 minutes on the clock. Conor, Hibernian 0, Celtic 1, and right before you came to me, Adam Ida on loan from Norwich City crashed one off the crossbar. He just with about half a foot or so offside, but it remains Hibs 0, Celtic 1.
Elsewhere in Scotland, 0-0 between Kilmarnock and Livingston. Hearts 1-up away at St Johnstone, and 0-0 at half-time between St Mirren and Dundee. Here at Villa Park, Chilwell trots out to the corner flag left-hand side as Chelsea come forward. It's a set piece for the visitors, who are now thinking, having conceded 4 in their last 2, might they score 4 themselves? Bottle's been thrown at Chilwell, and he just brushes it away. Palmer available for a short option. Chilwell looking into the penalty area, floats it in to the centre. Good jump in there by Alex Moreno to head the ball away for Villa. Caicedo lurking on the edge of the box shifts it to Malo Gusto on the right hand side. Now on to Madueke, who gives Moreno the slip again and goes down. Chelsea want a free kick, but the ball was out of play, and that will be a throw into Aston Villa, which Moreno takes quickly into Clement Longley. Villa need to get moving through the gears here. It's just not happening for them. Down goes Douglas Luiz. Free kick for a foul by Cole Palmer. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3, exactly an hour played. Leeds United awaiting in the next round. Villa only 5 points off the top of the Premier League table, but going out of the FA Cup as things stand. What about Nottingham Forest against Bristol City? Back to Lee Blakeman.
Still 1-1, but Forest have just gone close to taking the lead. Divock Origi, edge of the D, right foot shot, went for the bottom corner, just wide. Origi's since been replaced, and we've got 15 minutes to go. Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
Africa Cup of Nations semi-final, Ivory Coast against DR Congo. Henry Moran.
13 minutes into the second half, Nigeria await in the final, still goalless. Spartak Moscow striker Teo Bongonda has gone close for DR Congo. It remains goalless.
Earlier on, Nigeria beat South Africa 4-2 on penalties to reach the final. The winner of that Ivory Coast DR Congo game will meet them. To the FA Women's League Cup, Tottenham against Manchester City. Sohail Sahi.
We're into stoppage time. It's Tottenham 0, Man City 1. So Man City, they're heading through to the semi-finals of the League Cup. Yuri Hasegawa with the only goal of the game so far in the first half. Tottenham 0, Manchester City 1.
Chelsea already in those semis. Chelsea women beating Sunderland women 5-0 this evening. They've gone into extra time in the Brighton Hove Albion women against Aston Villa women game, 1-1 there. Here in the FA Cup, Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3. One of the most surprising scorelines of certainly the night, probably the week, maybe even the month. I mean, who saw this coming? Badia Shiel has it on the edge of the... Chelsea fans at the moment are cheering every pass. Gallagher turns away from Kamara, swings it out with plenty swaz on it to Gusto on the far side. All these cheers are a completed Chelsea pass. Gusto pops it over the top. Jackson runs after it. All Diego Carlos could do is knee it out of play, and Chelsea make up 50-60 yards. They have a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area they're attacking.
Yeah, Villa have got to try and put some passes together, get this Villa Park crowd back on their feet again, get some noise from this 12th man, which has not had anything to cheer about all game as yet.
Really struggling to remember any Villa chances in the game. McGinn had a shot that was tipped over the bar. I mean, they've just not troubled Petrovic.
I think that's it, you know, yeah. Conor, I think that could be the only one.
Not many teams come here and deny Aston Villa to that extent. And I think, 1-0, maybe even 2-0, will say, well, Villa great at coming back, but it's a whole different order, 3-0, and when Chelsea are in this sort of mood. But Villa do battle on. Bailey wins possession back inside his own half. Gives it to Matty Cash, who's in for Konza, the only change in the Aston Villa team tonight. Villa missing Konza, missing Pau Torres too, though he is available on the bench again tonight, having been absent in recent games through injury. Moreno will come forward, deep into Chelsea territory, down the left-hand side for Aston Villa, wearing the claret and blue. McGinn back to Moreno, shoved off the ball by Madueke, free kick to Aston Villa.
And the impressive thing about Chelsea tonight is the back four of Villa are not quite sure who they're going to be marking. Is it the pace of Jackson? Is it Madueke? Is it Palmer? That's changed all game, so they don't really know who they're up against. Do they go in tight? Do they stay off?
Free kick. Moreno and Douglas Luiz both standing over it. Chelsea bring everyone back to defend. They're holding a high line. They're well outside the penalty area. Douglas Luiz tries to send it into the corridor of uncertainty. Backtracking defenders do well. Badia Shiel was involved. I think Caicedo had a touch. Flag is raised anyway. Aston Villa were offside. And that is going to be a free kick to Chelsea, and they will take their time over it. Reminder of what's coming up on a busy weekend on 5 Live. We've England against Wales in the Six Nations. Full commentary on 5 Live on Saturday afternoon. We'll bring you Liverpool against Burnley ahead of that. Rugby Union Daily podcast out today inside the England camp, and you can keep in touch with that every day of the tournament. Could this be a turning point for Chelsea? They have come here at one of their lowest ebbs of the campaign, and they've put in a wonderful performance so far, and Mauricio Pochettino, who has seen a few false dawns, will just be hoping this could be it. This could be where the tide has turned. Let's go back to Hibs. Hibs against Celtic. A goal for Gavin Wallace.
An equaliser, Conor. Dylan Levitt from the edge of the box. It was a poor clearance from Celtic, and Levitt got his foot over the top of the ball on the edge of the area and put it well beyond Joe Hart. Game on. Hibs 1, Celtic 1.
Watkins attacks for Aston Villa into the penalty area, held up by Disasi. Watkins has not seen much of the ball at all tonight. Now Bailey running along the edge of the penalty area, tries to get a pass through to John McGinn, turns, gets a shot away, but it's off target. He was hoping it took a dink there. Maybe they were hoping there was a foul on the edge of the box. Either way, referee's not interested. It's a goal kick to Chelsea, who still lead 3-0.
You know, but the amount of shirts back there for Chelsea, they're working so hard to get behind the ball. John McGinn on the edge of the box there, just trying to get a shot off. Caicedo with a late challenge. No foul for me, but I'm looking at all the hard work that Chelsea are doing. Yeah, you might not get that experience, but the young kids that Chelsea have out tonight have got a lot of energy, and they're showing lots of willing to use it as well.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3. Unai Emery looks perplexed down there. He didn't see this coming either. All over the FA Women's League Cup. Tottenham, Manchester City. Sahil Sahi.
Yeah, Tottenham 0, Man City 1. So Man City, they're through to the semi-finals of the League Cup. Conor, Yui Hasegawa with the wonder strike in the first half. That's 9 wins out of 9 for a flying Manchester City. Full-time here, Tottenham 0, Manchester City 1.
Thanks very much, Sahil. Cash wins the ball back for Aston Villa in the midfield. Kamara to McGinn. Again, he's swarmed by hungry blue shirts, and Chelsea's hunger tonight has been a huge part of their success as they win back possession again. Villa get it. Cash onto Leon Bailey down the right wing. Level with the edge of the penalty area that Aston Villa attack. Villa have spent so much of this game defending inside their own territory. Diego Carlos onto Douglas Luiz. They don't look very certain, Villa.
No, they don't look very confident on the ball. You know, you want the person on the ball to have 2 or 3 options, and
Douglas Luiz here goes crossfield, looking for Leon Bailey. Easy pickings for Ben Chilwell to rise and intercept it. Ball goes out for a throw in from Matty Cash on the right hand side. Pochettino out bellowing the instructions. Wants to keep the concentration, keep the level at the moment. This is Chelsea's to lose. In fact, so dominant are they that on 5 Live we've got the ability here to follow the story. There is more jeopardy at the City ground. Nottingham Forest and Bristol City going into the closing stages. So we'll join for commentary Michael Brown alongside Lee Blakeman.
Conor, thank you very much. Nottingham Forest 1, Bristol City 1 with 8 minutes to go. Forest led early on. Bristol City drew level through night. Forest on the attack here with Adoy into the penalty area. Opportunity. Nico Williams with a shot across the face of goal. It looked destined to find the far corner. Just went wide, and that's as lively as Forest have been, Michael Brown, for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it really is. It was a good breakaway down that left-hand side. Fresh Hudson-Odoi coming on, tries to get the cross right across the face of the penalty area. Great touch. Nico Williams just waited, dragged onto his left, just put it wide. But as you said, haven't really created too much. Bristol City are just trying to slow it down. All the substitutions are still going, and really interested end to this cup tie.
Bristol City making their 5th and final substitution. They're bringing on Jamie Knight-Labelle. He's coming on in place of Ross McCrory for the final 8 minutes plus stoppage time, and then quite possibly extra time. It was Origi who gave Forest the lead in the 8th minute. A corner headed down by Felipe. Origi got the final touch, and then 6 minutes later Turner made a great save to deny King from distance, tipped the shot onto the post. Knight was there for the rebound to make it 1-1. You have to say since then the better chances, certainly in the first 45, went the way of Bristol City. Fairly even in the second half. That what we've just described for you, the best chance of the second half by a mile. So close for Nico Williams. Ball on this near side will go out for a Bristol City throw in their right back area, next to where Nuno Espirito Santo is standing in the Forest technical area with his arms folded. 27,754 the total attendance here at the City ground tonight, which for the most part, Michael Brown, unfortunately has been a bit quiet.
Yeah, it has been quiet. Started extremely well when we've seen that set piece, and then the reaction was good. But you know, you're just seeing that little change from Bristol City on the hour. They've matched Forest up, went to that sort of back 3 wing backs McCrory was allowed to get forward, although he's just ran out of steam and been replaced. But fascinating. Nuno, arms crossed, just thinking, how does he find a winner? His team under a bit of pressure.
Bristol City pushing forwards here. Forest penned into their left back area. Need to win a throw, do win a throw. Goal in the AFCON semi-final. Henry Moran.
And the hosts have the lead. Sebastian Allaire, once of West Ham, slamming the ball into the ground on the volley, and it bounces agonisingly over the DR Congo goalkeeper Mpasse to give Ivory Coast the lead midway through the second half. Ivory Coast 1, DR Congo 0.
6 minutes to go here. Forest 1, Bristol City 1 on 5 Live. Ball hit long, Bristol City win the header on the halfway line. Forest had been on top for the last 10 minutes or so. Bristol City, though, as I said a few moments ago, end of the first half, start of the second, the side with the better of the chances. The opportunity to host Manchester United in round 5 awaits the team that can score, you'd have to say, the next goal in this game. That's how it feels, Michael.
Yeah, it feels that way, but why did you say that now? Do you know, anything
can
happen. It's the magic of the cup, isn't it? Just keep going, but it has had a lull. Times Forest are thinking, why is this happening? Why are we not getting better chances? Why are we not in the lead?
Bristol City just lost it in the midfield with Williams out ball, looking for the run of Morgan Gibbs-White, cut out. Here come Bristol City again, midway inside the Forest half, coming together in the midfield. Bristol City will continue with Williams, ball out to the right to the substitute Jamie Knight-Labelle, back in field. Bristol City keeping possession and keeping possession well here. Williams again in the midfield, 1-1. Chelsea cruising at Villa Park, 3-0 in tonight's other FA Cup 4th round replay. Williams again, edge of the centre circle.
He's done well, hasn't he?
4 minutes to go now.
He's done well. He just wants the ball all the times with that little the holding midfield area. Williams happy to take it under pressure. Gibbs-White all around him and still saying no problem. Pointing, getting back on it. This is what they need now. Move it around, keep the ball, frustrate Nottingham Forest. He does it again.
16th in the Premier League, hosting 14th in the Championship. Bristol City on their left with Narky Wells, who came on as a second half substitute. Finds support further wide. Cross goes in, hits Wells on the back. Did Forest's job for them that time, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to the visitors over on the far side, level with the edge of the Nottingham Forest penalty area. 3.5 minutes to go, 1-1. Extra time awaits us, plus the possibility of penalties if we can't find a winner in the next few minutes. Harry Cornick, another substitute, has gone over to the far side.
The towel's out, isn't it? They're just literally wiping that ball. They're looking to try and put Forest under pressure with the long throw. Everybody in around the 6-yard area. They're taking a long time over this.
I was going to say, is it that kind of night? Is it fine rain that I can see? There's heavy snow forecast later on, but Cornick's wiped the ball anyway with the towel. Long throw, goes in, needs a touch, doesn't get one. Forest will clear towards the halfway line. Tayo Awani will give chase. Ball goes out for a Forest throw.
I've got to say, the anticipation there, waiting for that throw. It wasn't even long, was it? Hey, come on, get it into the box, put the pressure on. It wasn't, and now Forest just open the pitch. You see the wide players getting forward, just trying to circulate, but unfortunately we discussed it earlier before we come on to commentary, that the fact that Forest are playing too slow, it's allowing Bristol City just to get back in the shape, wait and delay. They've got to up the tempo.
It's been one of those games that's either been played at full throttle,
there, square pass, too slow,
or
Bristol
there's been
City
a lull.
Great on the press.
Here come Bristol City now. Ball to the left. Cornick. Williams was fouled, but the referees played the advantage. Cornick cutting in from the left on his right foot, edge of the area, rolls the ball back. Opportunity for James. Tried to thread it along the ground, cut out by Forest, who will clear towards halfway. Hudson-Odoi gives chase. Ball comes off the Bristol City defender. Forest throw right next to Nuno Espirito Santo. They do look dangerous, Bristol City, on the counter.
Yeah, they do. It's just energy. They're just waiting, and this is what happens now, is they move the ball around. They say, OK, we'll just come back in, wait, set the little traps. They're narrow at times. They're just allowing full-backs to go tight. The two forward players just narrow up and say, we're not going to let you through the middle. But this is the Premier League side with the abundance of talent. They've got to find a way through.
Premier League side that have yet to win in the calendar year of 2024. Last winning here against Manchester United at the end of 2023. Forest into the box here, pull back from Tavares, couldn't pick out a red shirt inside the area. He's in a really dangerous position there as well. Hudson-Odoi has it back, 25 yards out, through ball, cut out. Can Hudson-Odoi get on the end of the rebound? No, he can't. Bristol City will bring it clear with Cornick, who will go charging over the halfway line. Good, strong sliding tackle going in by Danilo. Brilliant. Throw into Bristol City.
What a play there, wasn't it? As the tempo went up, everybody flying in, tackles, it's looking, there's a little bit of action down below. Again, it's all about those runs, setting tempo, running down the outside there. Cornick, it's going all the way. It just wouldn't fall for him. He's literally putting his hands on his knees, and no wonder after that run.
Final minute of the 90. Forest 1, Bristol City 1, still Villa 0, Chelsea 3 at Villa Park. Chelsea cruising. We've just got a break in play here. Forest have got a man down. Forest are getting ready as well to make their 5th substitution of the night. Who's going to go on to win this one? Michael Brown. So difficult to call as they get ready to bring on Joseph Gardner.
Was that a question or a statement? You just thought you'd put me under there to sort of go, right, you make the decision, who's going to win it? You know, this is what we want to actually to see, this excitement in FA Cup ties, but no, a bit of a lull. We just see this injury through.
Gonzalo Montiel is going to make way for Joseph Gardner here. Let's check in at Villa Park. Conor McNamara.
It's still Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3. Villa for their best chance in some time. Moreno arriving. Far post is across hung in. He got up well. He sent his header towards the target, but it landed on the roof of the net. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3.
4 additional minutes here at the City Ground. Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Which way is it going to go? Ball at the moment out for another Bristol City throw over on the far side, level with the edge of the centre circle inside the Nottingham Forest half. Bristol City in their all black away kit. Forest, as you'd expect here at the City Ground, red shirts, white shorts, red socks with the white hoop. Bristol City inside their own half, go long, nobody there, and at this stage does it feel like the two teams are happy to settle for extra time? Big game for Forest at the weekend though, here against Newcastle in the 5:30.
I know there's one team who won't be settling and won't be happy, and this is this Forest team. Yes, they're missing a lot of players. We've seen players come in on deadline who are eligible to play, but after that they've got their injuries, suspensions, people away, so they are missing lots of players. But you know, with that starting 11, they'll still be disappointed not to go on and win this.
That'll be our commentary game on 5 Live on Sports Extra this coming Saturday afternoon with Stephen Kelly and Alistair Bruce Ball on 5 Live. It's going to be England-Wales in the Six Nations. Forest throw here in the left-back area. Long down the line. Can Hudson-Odoi get on the end of it? He felt he was pulled. So did a few fans here in this main stand. Nothing doing, said referee Michael Salisbury. Forest have to settle for another throw. Shirts being used this time rather than the towel that we saw a few moments ago. Throw in to be taken by Moussa Niakate on this near side. He goes long towards the edge of the Bristol City penalty area this time. We have had 90 seconds of the 4 additional minutes. Still 1-1. Ball high on the halfway line. Forest with some defending to do here. They're going to go all the way back to goalkeeper Matt Turner, who you have to say has kept Forest in this game at times. Some great saves, 2 especially at his near post.
Yeah, do you know what? There was a question mark, wasn't there, on the first strike where he pushed it into the sort of top stanchion, and then it fell kindly for Bristol City to keep it alive, to get that equaliser. But it was a save just after that, wasn't there? Tommy Conway, who was really good on the night, just getting into a good area. Right down to that bottom right corner. It was a good save with his left hand, but just waiting for the youngster now. Forest, you talk about fairy tales and youngsters coming on the pitch. He's still waiting to get that opportunity, Joseph Gardner.
90 seconds to go of the 4 that were added on. The atmosphere and the pace on the pitch, it all feels like we're going to have 30 minutes extra here at the City Ground. Ball with Bristol City over on their left. Gardner goes sliding in now. That's why that touch was cheered so loudly, and a second time as well, getting stuck in straight away, getting the crowd on side straight away.
Yeah, fantastic. You can see the enthusiasm just filtering through, but just goes quiet now. Nuno just kicks the floor, scuffs the grass. He doesn't want this, like you just mentioned before. He'd be so disappointed with the side not to get through, but this is the cup. You have to find a way. It's hard at times, and just like we mentioned for Bristol City, this is one of those games. I've been there. I've been in the Championship. You're playing the Premier League team, and you give everything to try and get through. Look who awaits.
We were saying Nuno and Forest won't want extra time because of the Newcastle game. Liam Manning and his team have got a trip to Middlesbrough, 3 o'clock kickoff Saturday afternoon. Bristol City on the attack here, right by the corner flag, deep inside Nottingham Forest territory. They should defend this. They clear it, but only as far as the Bristol City midfield. And Matty James knocked off the ball, tries to recover the situation, but Forest could come forwards here on the counter. Down the left, Tavares, last chance to win it in normal time, into the area left side. Final ball was poor, couldn't pull it back as he intended to. Bristol City will clear towards halfway, 4 minutes just about up. One last attack, Tavares again on the left, edge of the area, cutting inside on his right foot, tries to thread it through along the ground this time. Bristol City wise to the situation, will cut it out, will dribble it clear. Forest win it back though with Danilo, and now Hudson-Odoi, but there is the final whistle. Forest fans not happy with that, just as Hudson-Odoi was closing in on the Bristol City penalty area. But we're going to have 30 minutes more, Michael Brown, here, because it's ended Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
Yeah, Nuno Tavares there getting down that left hand side. He had a great opportunity to do something with it, but sort of ran out of steam. He hadn't been on too long. You would have expected him to do much better. All the coaching staff down now on the pitch, finding a way. Analysis as well of what can happen, where's the gaps, and something to think about for both teams.
Extra time and possibly penalties await, Kelly Summers, but at the end of normal time it's ended Forest 1, Bristol City 1.
Yeah, thanks guys. 180 minutes plus played and nothing is separating these two sides. Michael Brown, Lee half asked you towards the end which way you could see this one going. He kind of half asked you, and you didn't really give an answer because it's so hard to say, isn't it?
It's called sitting on the fence. I'm very good at that at times. But
I've called you out.
You've called me out again. That's both of you. Have you been texting each other or what? Just to get after me to make a decision. Michael's not made one. Listen, Forest should be able to come through this, shouldn't they? You know, as the game goes on longer and longer, the more the quality comes, the more they move the ball around. But there's something about this Bristol City team that I've been really impressed with. Forest look a touch leggy. There's players who've not played tons of minutes. I think they've used the substitutions well, Bristol City, and they seem to have an energy, an understanding and a belief, and whether that character's going to be enough to get them through, we'll soon see. They're going to have to take the chances when they do get it. And see, I've also nudged towards Forest, but not fully given you the answer that you asked me.
You skirted your way around that one, but we'll come back to you very shortly and see if you've decided which way that one's going to go. We'll have all of the action from extra time and potential penalties with Lee Blakeman and Michael Brown very shortly, but it is still underway. Well, still playing at Villa Park, but the game pretty much over. Aston Villa trailing Chelsea by 3-0 at home. Arguably one of the shock results or scorelines of the FA Cup this season, probably. Dion Dublin and Conor McNamara have been watching this one. And Conor, is it still all Chelsea?
Yeah, I mean, Villa have been trying to rouse comebacks, but they're just making silly mistakes. They're not finding the pass. They've had more territory, but that's because Chelsea are shutting up shop a little bit now. Just over 8 minutes of normal time to play. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3. Goals from Conor Gallagher and Nico Jackson in the first half. Brilliant free kick from Enzo Fernandez in the second period. Villa made a few changes. Jacob Ramsey and Moussa Diaby came on in place of McGinn and Tielemans, but they've just not really been on it today. Thiago Silva has come on for Chelsea, and Kelly, as you know, that is significant because we know about these sort of off the field shenanigans that have been going on there. I always say social media, a great way to invade your own privacy, and Thiago Silva has sort of had a funny week in that regard, but Mauricio Pochettino made a great show of arm around him, hugging him prolonged as he came on. So they're just trying to show the united front here that everything is back to the way it should be at Stamford Bridge, and this has got the potential, this result tonight, to try and turn the ship around from a Chelsea point of view, Kelly.
What about from an Aston Villa point of view, Dion? Because we came into this one, or you came into this one, so buoyed by what they've done so far this season, and we were all saying they were favourites, but it's been really disappointing.
Yeah, listen, they were favourites coming into this game, Kelly. I didn't see this coming from Chelsea whatsoever. I can point out every single player in a blue shirt tonight, in a Chelsea shirt. They've probably had their game of the season so far. They've been outstanding, organised, great football. Fernandes, that's the best I've seen him play in a Chelsea shirt. Same with Caicedo as well. So they're doing everything right. Villa are trying to get back in the game, but Chelsea have been too much for them tonight.
Yeah, it's been Chelsea's night so far at Villa Park. That one still playing. We'll go back to Conor and Dion very shortly. But let's check in with Henry Moran and find out how it's going between the Ivory Coast and the Democratic Republic of Congo in AFCON.
in the final 10 minutes of this semi-final, unless DR Congo can find an equaliser. Ivory Coast leading by 1-0, scored by Sebastian Haller, and he should have wrapped the game up. Through on goal, lifted a bouncing ball over the goalkeeper, but wide of the post. DR Congo have offered very little. Meshagele has scuffed an effort wide from distance. 9 minutes left of the 90. Nigeria await in the final. Ivory Coast 1, DR Congo 0.
Into the Scottish Premiership, and Gavin Wallace, Celtic could be dropping points against Hibernian.
They could well be, just as a minute in the back post. Oh, what a chance! Mark Boyle at the back. How did he miss that? I do not know. This game could go either way just now. It's still 1 each with 10 to play.
Wow, I thought we were going there with impeccable timing once again here on 5 Live. Hibernian 1, Celtic 1 in the closing stages of that one. But let's now head back to the City Ground where we can find Lee Blakeman and Michael Brown. Lee, is it time for extra time now?
We're just underway, Kelly. First half of extra time, 30 seconds of it gone. Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Forest have made 5 changes in this game, as have Bristol City. Will any of those changes help us find a winner over the course of the next half hour? If not, it is penalty grids at the ready as we get ready here at the City Ground for a shootout. But a lot of football to play between now and then. As we look at things here in this main stand, Bristol City kicking from right to left, and they're on the attack here. Curler from the edge of the area that time from Harry Cornick, went straight into the Trent end and was never ever troubling Matt Turner, who's been excellent.
No, it wasn't. They started with confidence. You know, they've just come out, they've had that team talk. They've adjusted a couple of things around, but he's got to do better than that. We've seen some great composure, but then at times that little bit of quality, and whether they can get better at that, whether they take those opportunities, that's what we were discussing. Just to think, the chance to go through, so ultimately coming to Forest, they probably didn't really believe that they had that chance of winning, and they've grown in confidence in the game.
On the pitch for Forest at the moment, Turner in goal, the 2 wing-backs Tavares and Williams, Niakate, Felipe and Omar Barmadeli, and then Hudson-Odoi, Danilo, Gibbs-White, Gardner making his debut for Forest, and Tayo Awani. Ball into the area here, Nico Williams on the end of it right side, sends in a low cross, played away, and here's a chance for Gardner, who tries a shot, his first shot on goal in the Forest senior team. It was going to go wide, Bristol City didn't know that and were able to get the block in. Williams goes into the area this time, again Bristol City, well organised, well drilled, defend well, and will bring the ball clear. Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Has that ball gone out for a Forest throw? Yes, it has. But I tell you what, he's not shy, is he, Joe Gardner?
No, he's not. Great opportunity, as we've mentioned. It's any sight of goal, it come back. It was ambitious. There's lots of Bristol City bodies there, just blocked away, and we're disappointed there. Bristol City, Sam Bell, who's done really well, just let it go out of play, and Forest gaining momentum. They coming forward. Gibbs White, he's the one who could win it. You know the special talent that he has. He needs to get on the ball a little bit more.
18 years of age, Joe Gardner, come through the system and very, very nearly made headlines on his debut here in the FA Cup.
There's still
1-1.
time, Lee. There's still time. He can do it.
Lot of time.
It's
ball
set for him, isn't it?
with Felipe on the halfway line forward. Our knee with the layoff. Forest switch to the left. Gibbs White. Level at 1-1. Chelsea still cruising 3-0. We'll keep you bang up to date throughout the rest of the night here on 5 Live, however long the night may be. Forest patient in their build-up. I said earlier, when Kelly first came to us, it's one of those games, this, which has either been thrill a minute non-stop, or it's been so quiet that we've ended up talking about skiing and our favourite brands of wine gum at times, off air, I'm glad to report. It has been one of those nights where you either can't stop or you've got quite a bit of time to fill because the atmosphere's gone flat, as it has done at the moment. But then you can guarantee in 90 seconds time things will pick right up again. It's been very stop-start, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has now, but full credit, Bristol City are the ones who are controlling this now, moving it around with confidence. I think Forest now have just got to come forward, go for it, get the press on. They keep waiting for the counter. They finally got it. The traps were there, but you just feel in any way that they can use that sort of dynamics, the pace, either go now on the half turn. This is better.
Here come Forest on the attack. Ball to Gardner, back to goal, edge of the D, keeps it moving. Williams into the area, opportunity here. Williams stays on his feet. Good save by Max O'Leary, who comes flying on his line, or off his line, to make the block at the near post, just as Williams was looking threatening once more.
Tell you what, you can get forward, Williams. Great run. He waits, he delays, it circulates right across the face, and then you see that Ghana just turn, put him inside, and touch was good. So O'Leary closed him down, so he just couldn't sneak it in the near post.
Forest corner, in swinger, left-footed delivery on the Forest right. 7 inside the penalty area as the cross is swung in towards the back post. Never troubling Max O'Leary that time, straight down his throat. Nobody in a red shirt able to get on the end of that one despite the runs.
Yeah, and he was told straight away just to wait, delay. Don't just kick it up, let's just move the ball around and either go again. I'm surprised, honestly, with Forest. They're sitting and waiting. So they don't want this to go much further. Don't want to give Bristol City any sort of confidence. I just think it's ideal for them.
5 minutes gone in the first half of extra time. Level at Forest 1, Bristol City 1. Forest with a free kick in their left back area. A battle of two teams, this, who've been horrifically out of form lately. 1 win in 6 in all competitions for Nottingham Forest before tonight. That was the replay at Blackpool, 3-2 in the third round of this competition. And Bristol City beat West Ham in the last round. A game Michael was watching at Ashton Gate by 1-0. That's their only win in 9, though. So really, should we be that surprised?
It was a good one, though, I'll tell you. The atmosphere was electric, wonderful to watch, and Forest home form is a little bit worrying. They are missing those players we've said, but it's almost they're just saying, okay, we'll move you around, we'll look nice, we'll look pretty on the ball, but it's a cup tie. They've got to find a way, and they've got to start increasing it. That lottery of the penalty shootout awaits, and we're going to get to that level, but it's getting closer. Bristol City, we're now thinking, here we go, can we just hang on? So we've got a great chance.
It is a depleted Forest team tonight, as Michael alluded to there. Wood is out injured. For how long, we're not quite sure, but he's not going to be back anytime soon, according to Nuno Espirito Santo yesterday. Yates and Dominguez are both suspended, and they've got 3 at AFCON still as well, Nottingham Forest, as they come on the attack here down the centre. Forest wide on the left, edge of the penalty area. Can they send the ball in this time? No, they can't. They go back to Morgan Gibbs-White, who's looking to hit one over the top. Keeps it moving. Joe Gardner, now Gibbs-White once more. Forest very patient in their build-up here, but they're trying to find a way through. Bristol City will clear, though. Goal at Villa Park, Conor McNamara.
And Aston Villa have got one back into stoppages. Substitute Moussa Diaby hitting it low. It hit the inside of the post, trickled along the goal line, and did go over the line. It's surely too little too late. Only 4 minutes have been added on. I say only because there's been a lot of stops in this second half, but Villa get one back, but they still trail 3-1 to Chelsea.
1-1 here. Forest on the attack with Nico Williams, but he goes back inside his own half this time to pick out Omar Barmadilli. Forest edge of the area with Gibbs-White, who Michael was praising a few moments ago. He's been once again the link man, the engine in that midfield. Forest enjoying possession but moving it sideways at the moment. Williams has seen a lot of the ball during these early stages of extra time. Ball on the edge of the centre circle with Felipe this time.
Gibbs-White, he's struggling. I think he might have to come off. It's his last 2 he's touched it. He's literally winced in pain. He's just limping right in the middle. That would be a big moment.
Just as we were praising him, yeah, he's just pulled up and he's hobbling inside the centre circle as Forest come on the attack with Williams down the right into the area. Ball deflects behind, corner to Nottingham Forest, but at the moment they have got concerns for Morgan Gibbs-White with the captain's armband on.
They won't want to lose him. They won't want to lose him for a long period of time, so they have to get that one right. All the concern to staff right up behind Nuno asking questions. He needs to come over and get it checked to me. But set piece now, Bristol City just ringing that 6-yard area, zonal, one on the front post, a couple of blockers, 3 or 4 Forest players, and just entering the area, but it's taken a long time.
Gibbs-White hobbles towards the edge of the D, in swinger from the right again, and it's punched away by the keeper this time. It's going to fall for Gibbs-White, of all people, who tries the snapshot straight down the throat of O'Leary. Didn't catch it as well as he would have liked that time.
I tell you what, he caught it well from 25 yards with one leg while he was limping. It's still limping now. Fantastic effort, great quality. It just shows you sometimes when you don't go to give it loads, you can get it really accurate. It's a decent effort from him, but it is a concern, isn't it? He's just getting back going in the middle, and it's wonder what it is that actually is bothering him. But Bristol City again move it round, and full credit to them, going to a Premiership side and having the confidence to play, but not like that.
They've just given it away. Ball played forwards this time from Danilo. Not a great ball. Gardner couldn't get on the end of it on his debut. Bristol City will try and bring it clear. They have it in the midfield at the moment as Joe Williams plays it forwards. Cornick keeps it moving. Bristol City on the attack. Do not write them off. They've had the better of the chances to take the lead, and they keep on going here into the area. Shot's got to go in. Good save by Turner. Flying away to his right. It needed saving. It was saved. He got fingers to tip it round the post, the Forest keeper that time.
Yeah, and Mehmeti, fantastic. Just looked like he had a bit of energy. Drives 25 yards out, gets a little bit closer. He pushes onto his right and hits it like, say, snapshot right across the goalkeeper. Turner down to that right-hand side. Good save, corner kick, and that's how things change so quickly. Great quality.
Joe Williams to take the corner. Trent End, in swinger. And it's going to be taken short in the end on the Bristol City left. Whipped in by Mehmeti, cleared away. Pieces are going to get picked up this time by Williams. Keeps it moving into the midfield. Ball dead centre in the half. Played high over the top. Opportunity here for the snapshot that time from Sam Bell. Straight at Matt Turner. A more routine save, but a good effort nonetheless.
That's a great effort, wasn't it? Sidewinder, corner of the area, sort of a curling cross into the box, and it goes to that volley. This is going to sound a little bit wrong, but like Di Canio almost trying it, didn't catch it, nowhere near as good, but into the goalkeeper.
5 minutes to go in the first half of extra time here. Ball on the Nottingham Forest left. Full time at Villa Park. Conor?
It's all over at Villa Park, and it has finished 3-1 to Chelsea. Great scenes amongst the visitors here, who've had a really tough week, but they've put in one of their best performances of the campaign. Gallagher, Jackson, Enzo Fernandez scoring the goals. Villa with the late consolation through Diaby in stoppage time. It finishes Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3. Chelsea play Leeds in the 5th round.
These two teams here level at 1-1. Forest and Bristol City playing for the right to host Manchester United in the 5th round. Forest have beaten United here in the Premier League already. Bristol City got to the 5th round last season, were knocked out by Manchester City. Who is going to play the rights, or who's going to win the rights to host Eric Ten Hag's team?
There was just a late challenge there. Referee Michael Salisbury right on top of it. He didn't really, give it much time. He said straight away, this is a big moment, key area, everybody just keeping a high line on the edge of the 18-yard area from this wide free kick.
Inside left, 30 yards, Forest free kick, whipped in towards the 6 yards area and headed wide of the far post that time. We've got a penalty at Easter Road. Gavin Wallace.
In the death, Lee Adam Ida is about to step up. Kyogo was tripped inside the box, 2 steps to the left, he goes to the right foot and puts it beyond David Marshall. The title race is very much alive now. Celtic needed that, and right on the death, you have to think the points are going back to Glasgow. Hibs 1, Celtic 2.
What a goal that is. Massive, massive goal. Gavin will keep us up to date for the rest of the night. Not long left to go there now. Not long left to go in the first half of extra time here. 1-1 Forest and Bristol City. Forest with that near or far post header a few moments ago off the free kick.
Yeah, big chance, but assistant referee just below down the right hand side put the flag up, so it was a poor miss, but he wouldn't have counted anyway. Nico Williams just give a soft one away as to try and get him behind Bristol City.
Ball with Bristol City on this near side, which is their left, just past the midway point of the Forest half. Cornick rolls the ball inside. Williams will take over. He's been excellent tonight in the visitors' midfield. Ball to the edge of the area now. Mehmeti rolls it across. James keeps it going. Has it back again here, Matty James, dead centre, 30 yards out. Williams will take over to the left of centre. 1-1, ball to the edge of the area. Cornick, he's got Nico Williams biting at his heels. Bristol City doing well here to use the full width of the pitch and keep possession. Williams chip over the top. Opportunity once more. Mehmeti inside the area. Pullback's got no pace on it. Snatched at it, and Forest will clear away down their right with Williams. Up towards Awani, who's trying to hold it up. That's a foul, surely. No free kick given, and here come Bristol City again on the attack.
Yeah, Rob Dickey went tight. He had a hold of him, didn't he? The referee decided against it, but you can hear the reaction all around the crowd. But Bristol City again just keep moving it around, putting the pressure on. Midfield 2 now, as you said, Matt James and Joe Williams just saying, give me the ball, controlling things. Forest have got to get out. They look really leggy.
They'll be absolutely livid if anything comes of this, because it looked a nailed-on free kick for a foul on our knee. Bristol City play it forwards, forced back to halfway, full-time at AFCON. Henry Moran.
And it is Ivory Coast who have had the most extraordinary tournament and now just have one more step to reach their destiny. Sebastian Aller's looping volley after an hour. The difference in this semi-final. They will face Nigeria, who beat South Africa earlier on today. It's finished Ivory Coast 1, DR Congo 0.
Henry, thank you very much. Still 1-1 here into the final minute of the first half of extra time. Forest with a throw on this near side there, right next to their manager Nuno Espirito Santo.
I thought it was a big chance there. Harry Conor from that left-hand side, running the centre of the pitch. He's thinking no one's going to get to it, but the ball comes over the top. It's great recovery in the end from Felipe as he was just getting out of his feet for a one-on-one, but there goes the whistle.
That is the end of the first half of extra time, and we were chuckling about it towards the end of normal time. We've got no idea which way this one was going to go. I haven't, you haven't. We keep passing the buck to each other.
I'd expect nothing less. We'll be back with you guys very shortly. We'll just get a definitive answer and find out exactly how that game's going to go. Let's go back to Villa Park now. We heard that it was full time between Aston Villa and Chelsea. And Dion, what a night for Chelsea. What a response from Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea were outstanding. Kelly, from, 15 minutes into the game, Villa started on fire in the first half. They really did. Chelsea didn't know what to do. And then it was just all Chelsea. Passed it well. They were organised as well. They were just dominant in every department. Honestly, the back two were great. Caicedo in the middle of the park, Fernandes. The quality that Chelsea have had for a very long time reared its head tonight, Kelly, and they took charge of this game at Villa Park. I was very surprised.
Yeah, as Conor said earlier, this could kind of be the performance that could kick-start their season, albeit a bit late. But for Aston Villa, a worrying result at a difficult and a key point in the season for them, with European football resuming and Manchester United this weekend.
I just think if Chelsea can perform like this consistently, they will be in and around anything at the end of the season, because they were that good. I mean, Villa Park's been horrible for teams to come here. They haven't had any joy at all, because Villa have just taken charge in the stands, on the pitch, everything. The singing was quiet tonight. They had nothing to sing about. I just think Chelsea have now hit a standard of football, especially tonight, a standard of football. But if they can keep that going, wow, there'll be some side.
What about Villa, though? Where do they go from here? Do they just have to park this result?
Yeah, probably ask Thiago Silva's wife to do a team talk or something like that. But no, I do believe that this is a blip for Villa. I don't think this is Villa. We haven't seen, for 70% of this game, Villa are kind of off it. I don't think that will continue. I think this is an off night for Villa. That is it. It's a blip. Chelsea were brilliant. Villa weren't very good. And that's basically it, Kelly.
Thank you very much. A nice definitive answer from you there, Mr. Dublin. Thank you for your company this evening. Very much enjoyed that.
Thank you very much. You've been brilliant, by the way. I love Kelly Summers.
Thank you. I'll pay you later. So Chelsea through to the fifth round of the FA Cup after that big win at the end of a big week for them against Aston Villa. Let's now go up.